Hello, everybody, and welcome to Two Buddies and a Lot of Conspiracies. And as you can kind of see here on the screen, there's a smashed up Mercedes. Eddie and I both don't have eyeballs, which are fine because today we're going to be
Supposed to see
discussing.
anything, my man. That's why.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's it. So, because today we are going to be discussing Princess Diana's death a little bit and got a little bit of information on that, and then the face on Mars. But like, this is perfect. We don't have eyeballs because we didn't see anything. Like, what happened? Um, what? So do you? I see you changed your little icon. You must like this guy. You must like this new suit.
It's like you know that I love like the John Wick
Oh, totally.
universe. So
Yeah.
like this reminds me of him.
You got your bulletproof
So
suit on. That's what that is.
yep.
Which honestly, we don't know. They might actually have bulletproof suits out there. They have like different shielding that you can actually buy that is like a thick mat that goes on you that can actually withstand bullets. So there is reality to some of the stuff. But we don't have access to the nice, expensive suits that can restrict gunfire. Not yet. Not yet.
100%.
No, they keep all that
Why?
shit for themselves.
Of course, they're the only ones that need to be protected.
Yeah, exactly. Reason for this image, though, is this is unfortunately the best image that our Microsoft Design AI thing could come up with. Most of all the other ones, and I'll probably throw up some graphics like I did in the last video, showing all the ones that literally because I have Eddie, it's like one white guy and a Mexican guy, and like majority of the ones with the Mexican guys all had guns. The white guy did not, but the Mexican guy did every single time, or like most of the time. So it's like ridiculous. And a lot of times they put him in like a poncho, and like he really looks like he doesn't belong in this setting. Uh, but uh, but yeah, any questions before we go into the topics, my man?
Well, shouldn't it be the opposite way? You know?
With the gun thing? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
like obviously, yeah, because unless they think because maybe this guy is French, right? Weren't they in France when they died? We'll read about her. Yeah, point de l'Alta or whatever. Yeah, so no, there's no reason why I shouldn't have a gun. I should be always packing heat next to Eddie packing heat, and then take out some clowns that are coming after us. Yeah.
But I guess it's the other way around. I'm the one with the guns.
Well, they probably just heard the news about what's going on in Mexico, and it's like, oh, well, all Mexicans have guns then. No, that's not the case. Like, that's not the case at all. Uh, what a weird thing. But yeah, so then going into the topics here. So yeah, we are officially, we're getting old now. Chapters 23, Diana of Wales, and 24, Face on Mars. So yeah, before we know it, we'll be able to rent cars. Yeah, I think that's 25, isn't it? Right?
Believe it or not, it is. Yes.
Yeah, so it's 25 to rent cars, and then supposedly we'll get a discount in our next chapters on insurance, which is all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's not real. Even if you haven't had tickets or nothing, it is not real. You do not get a discount on safe driving or any of that shit. Don't listen, these guys are lying. But yeah, so as the topics go through, we're gonna read about Diana. We're gonna read about the accident. Then I have a video of David Icke where I cut the video out because it's like an hour and something long, but I just cut out the last bit where he talks about Diana because he was talking about other like political assassinations and like whatnot. Why we shouldn't really trust them. Then I have other options, which is in regard to like what happened after the accident, kind of a thing. Then I have a Greg Reese video, which will kind of like put it all together where I want everybody's brain to really be on the thing. So yeah, this for all the stuff on Diana, we're just kind of briefly touching, and then please do more research. Yeah, Take a look because there's some shit going on there. There really is. And then we transition to the face on Mars, which I've got two interesting videos on this too. So the first one is Ancient School, and if you never heard of that, it's actually pretty good. It's I want to say I think I first got it on Prime, but I'll have links for everything in the description, so you'll be able to go find the stuff. But yeah, Ancient School is like he's looking at the original images that were sent out from Mars, and because the in the book he actually talks about like the face on Mars and is there any living, signs of life, whatever. He says no, blah 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 blah. But then we're going to actually look at signs of life. We're going to read a little bit. We're going to look at funding and spend from our people at NASA. And then there's a video to consider, which I would recommend that everybody watch that full documentary. It's like 3 hours long. The guy does an amazing job. He really does. And if you do watch that, you're going to see a clip out of that in our moon landing video. So just as an FYI. And then we're closing. So any words of wisdom, anything you want to add? What do you know? Oh yeah, what do you know about Princess Diana and the face on Mars?
Well, the face on Mars, like I think once we get into it, like I remember like the the whole thing about it. Like
You have heard
like
about it, right?
yeah.
Like it was
And the
made
Princess
by
Diana,
aliens.
yeah. And then the Princess Diana thing, like obviously another conspiracy is that she was killed,
Hmm.
and that's pretty much it.
That's it,
Like
right?
just to
That's just
summarize, like everything, yeah.
base level. And just so we can get it here early, what so FYI, like the Diana one, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, they killed her. Okay, duh. All right. So you
Well, yeah, like I've seen already like documentaries on it
oh, there's
before,
a ton of documentaries out there to watch.
so that's why I'm like, but I don't want to give everything away until like we start like going into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And what was where'd you leave off again? Where were you at? Was it a 7.7?
7-7, yes.
Okay. So Eddie's threat level is a 7.7. And we may see him hit 8, maybe. Maybe. After seeing both of these topics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any questions you got before we roll into Diana?
No, I think I'm ready.
All right, let's fucking do it. Let's fucking do it, damn it. So I'll read this because there's going to be two to read on the next one. Who was Princess Diana? That's my question for Google. And Google responds Diana, Princess of Wales, 1961 and 1997, was a British royal icon known for her humanitarian work, compassion, and global influence on fashion. So before I continue, you remember when we talked about the royals before, right?
Yeah,
No?
yeah,
Okay.
I do remember.
Does humanitarian work, compassion, does that like is that against what they were doing? I think
Well,
so,
it's
right?
on. It's at least it's in their vocabulary, but
Right, 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 right. They
it
they
doesn't
know the
seem like
words, but they don't
they
live
don't
by
use
the
that much
words.
action on it. Yep.
Exactly. As the first wife of Charles, Prince of Wales, now King Charles III, which isn't that crazy, she was mother to Princess William and Harry. And I think Harry's like an idiot or something, right? And then oh no, Harry's the one in
No.
California, right?
Yeah, he's the one that left. He left over there to come here to the States.
Yeah, he renounced his princehood. It's like really,
Hmm.
no one fucking does that. Like, but didn't they get millions of dollars from Netflix? So they're doing okay.
They're doing just fine.
They'll be all right. Don't worry
There's
about these people, guys.
they're celebrities just by where they were born, I guess.
Born
Well,
into
they.
stardom, yeah, or not stardom, but yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, unbelievable. Following her 1996 divorce, she continued her charity work, notably for HIV/AIDS awareness, which That's a whole topic that I wonder if we're going to get into. I don't think so, though. Awareness and landmine clearance. Landmine clearance. Before dying in 1997, Paris car crash. Key facts and life of Princess Diana. Early life and background. Born Lady Diana Spencer on July 1, 1961, to an aristocratic family, daughter of the 8th Earl Spencer. She worked as a kindergarten teacher before her marriage. See, she was actually like a nice person in general, right? Royal marriage. Married Prince Charles on July 29, 1981. That was her first mistake, I'll say. In a televised wedding of the century, they had two sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, 82 and 84. Uh, the People's Princess, known for her empathy and breaking royal protocol. She famously hugged HIV/AIDS patients in the 1980s to reduce stigma. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. It's not like, unless you're drinking their blood, which we have suggested the royals do. Like, you shouldn't be, that's what they always thought. Like, oh, don't touch me. It's like, no, you're fine. Like, these people aren't going to get you. Charity and activism. She supported causes for the homeless, cancer, and mental illness, and was a prominent campaigner against landmines. Yeah. So, like, this is a person that we should have probably kept. Like, she should still be around today doing good things, because she was actually a good person, or at least from what it seems. Divorce and death. After separating in 1992 and divorcing in 1996, she remarried a major media figure. She died in a car crash in Paris on August 31st, 1997, at age 36. I did look up if there was like a 36 club, and there are a bunch of famous people that died at 36, but they don't actually call it like a 36 club.
Only the 27 club, no?
The
Or what is it?
27 club is the one. Yeah. But honestly, if you go look, there was one article I found, and maybe I'll put it in the links too, where it's like there were actually a lot of people that died at 36 that were famous, which is kind of weird too. But famous quotes: "I don't go by the rule book. I lead from the heart, not the head," which is something we should all do. "Carry out a random act of kindness with no expectation of reward, safe in the knowledge that one day someone might do the same for you." I, and then, you know, like that's like those two things is kind of like that's how I live my life. "I'd like to be a queen in people's hearts," referring to her role as the people's princess. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would much rather have people just like want me to do well, or like be, I'd rather be in people's hearts than in charge of them. That's essentially what that means. And yeah, I agree. She is remembered as a pioneering royal who modernized the monarchy through her accessibility and dedication to humanitarian causes. Yeah. So what do you think? I mean, that's probably more information than you know about her from before, right?
Well, yes and no, because like I'm telling you, like I saw a lot of like
Documentaries.
the documentaries. They're like all over the place. Like
Yeah, yeah.
if you have cable back in the day and you had E and stuff like that, they used to have documentaries on her.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because there was like, yeah, like we were saying, there's a ton out there. So of course there was another one on. And one thing that I learned a while ago is that like in the UK, there's a lot of documentaries that they watch all the time, and it's like, well, that's
Hmm.
interesting. We put dumb shit. We put people like losing their clothes while they're running through a line or something. We put that on TV for us here. So like, or women catching hot dogs in their mouth. Like, that's the kind of television that we get here. We rarely get the intelligent information that comes through on all these other people. Unbelievable. America dumbing us down since 1776. Actually, I think it was probably
Sounds
later.
about right.
I mean, kind of, right? I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, they've been making us fat, dumb, and stupid all the time. But any questions you got before we go to the next thing? Then
No.
this will be accident information. So,
Here, I'll read the left one.
of course, it's smaller. Go ahead.
No, I didn't mean it like that. It's because you just ended up. Jesus Christ. Here we go.
Starts early. Go on.
How did Princess Diana die? Princess Diana died on August 31st, 1997, from internal injuries sustained in a high-speed car crash in the Pont de Alma.
De la
El
Alma.
Alma.
La Alma.
That you know what that kind of like because of Spanish?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like point of the soul.
100%.
I wonder if that has something to do
100%. So
with it.
when we get to the Greg Reese one, you will see that will click in your brain even better when we watch the Greg Reese video. Just remember that. Remember what you
It's
said
just
and
like
wrote or read.
it's just
Yeah.
like the point of the soul tunnel.
Hmm.
Like really, like that's kind of dude.
Dude, well, that's the thing when you
It's
look at all
like
these.
I just had a moment of that. Like it's all connected.
Yeah. Fucking Charlie was right, bro. Everything is all connected. And that's the thing where if we look at if we look at all these words that we
Uh,
say on a regular basis, there's other hidden meanings in them. That's where the whole word magic thing comes into play, where it's like we could be saying things just because we're speaking English. We could be saying like "kill me now," or you know what I mean. Like we don't know the words that we're saying and where they came from. So, as an FYI, guys, take a look at root words and see if you can find it in Latin too, because that'll probably change a whole bunch of shit.
okay. So a car crash in Point de l'Alma tunnel in Paris. Her chauffeur, Henry Paul, lost control of the vehicle while driving intoxicated and fleeing paparazzi,
And,
killing himself, Diana, and her partner, Dottie Fade.
Dodi Fayed.
Dottie Fayette. Oh, okay. Oh, you just said it in a different accent.
That's how you say it.
Uh, America. You
Yeah,
need to
that's actually
uh,
Middle Eastern. But sure, go ahead.
no, I know, but I'm saying we're in America. That's
We
why you
are
gotta say it
America.
like
We gotta have the eagle going.
that. Key details regarding her death include cause of death. She suffered a ruptured pulmonary vein and massive chest injuries, dying at a hospital around 4 a.m. The crash. The Mercedes Benz was traveling at high speed. I love how they need to say the brand of the vehicle.
Oh, of course,
Roughly
gotta
100 to
represent, bro.
120. Of course.
They get $5 every
100.
time someone reads this out loud.
Roughly 100 and 120 miles per hour before striking a pillar in the tunnel. Contributing factors. Investigation cited the driver intoxication, excessive speed, and the pursuit by paparazzi as main factors. Like, goddamn, these paparazzis are really on it, you know? Just to
Terrible.
even do like a
Yeah.
car, like go full speed, like 100, 120 miles per hour car chase. Yeah, that sounds like paparazzi. Survivors.
Sure.
Bodyguard Trevor Reese Jones was the sole survivor of the crash. Investigation findings. Official inquest and conclude the death was a tragic accident caused by the driver's actions. Of course.
Oh, of course.
Was drunk. The paparazzi
Yeah,
wanted pictures and a high speed car chase.
yeah, 100%. That's how it works. So let's see what was the state of Princess Diana after the accident, right? Because that's what they said, that she was pulmonary vein, massive chest injuries. So after the August 31st, 1997 crash in Paris, Princess Diana was initially conscious and speaking. Okay, that's important to remember. But suffering from severe internal injuries, including a torn pulmonary vein that caused massive chest bleeding. Despite emergency care at the scene and at La Petite Salpêtrière, this is why you wanted me to read this. Salpêtrière. So, whatever
Okay,
those French words are,
I didn't look that detailed into it, okay?
that at that French hospital, she never regained consciousness after her heart stopped. Key details of her state after the accident. Initial stage, she was found conscious, but in a very delicate state, trapped in the back seat of the car. Medical injuries, she suffered a very rare injury where her heart was displaced to the right side of her chest, tearing the pulmonary vein. She also had broken bones and a concussion. Treatment. She was given cardiac massage and underwent surgery, but doctors could not repair the damage. Death. She was pronounced dead at 4 a.m. on August 31st, 1997 at the hospital. Reports indicate that she was conscious and somewhat aware immediately after the crash, even asking, "What happened? What happened?" before slipping into a coma. So, after reading that, it seems kind of like it doesn't fit well, right? Like it doesn't feel like she should have probably died.
Yep.
Like something feels
Like,
off.
like the whole thing is off. Like,
The whole
really,
thing is off.
paparazzis were like following you that fast. Like, come on. You died. The car crash is like in a place that's called Point of the Soul Tunnel.
Right?
Hey, come on. Like,
So let
at
me.
this point, it's just embarrassing. Like what they try to pull off. You know?
Well, they think we're so dumb. They think we're so fucking stupid. That's the problem. And because the news told us this is how it happened, we go, oh, okay, that's what happened. Seems weird, but okay, I believe it. It's like that's what we do because they figured out how to play us a long time ago, guys. They know exactly what to do. It's crazy. Let me actually read from the book, yeah? Because we'll read from
Yeah.
the book because I think the next thing coming up is a video that I want everybody to watch. But yeah, so Diana, Princess of Wales. It was news that shocked the world. In the early hours, GMT, on Sunday, 31 August 1997, reports started coming from Paris that Diana, Princess of Wales, had been injured in a car accident. Then came updates reporting she was dead. Also killed in the car crash in the tunnel beneath Pont de la Alma were Diana's lover, Dodi Al Fayed, the driver, Henry Paul. Dodi's bodyguard, Trevor Reese Jones, was seriously injured. The cause of the crash seemed clear. Chased by paparazzi on motorcycles, Paul had driven too fast, 75 miles per hour, 120 kilometers per hour, according to one French police estimate, into the tunnel, clipped a white Fiat Uno, and in overcorrecting, had swerved the Mercedes S280 into the 13th pillar. The 13th pillar, something also. There were also reports that he had been drinking. None of the occupants had been wearing seat belts. And then it goes into like he does actually talk about like Dodi's father, like looking into the case and all that. And they actually, what's funny is some MI6 guy came on record and he's like, yeah, I was actually briefed on a mission to kill a politician in the same kind of way, but it was some other guy. So it's like, okay, all right. So I'm sure it was a setup. But let me read the last two paragraphs and then his alert level. In 2007, Mohammed Al Fayed forced, that's his father, Mohammed Al Fayed forced an inquest into the deaths of Dodi and Diana. At the time of going to press, the inquest is ongoing. This is 2007, so 10 years later. But its conclusion is unlikely to differ from those previous investigations. Yeah, no shit. They covered their tracks, supposedly. It too will almost certainly be accused by Al Fayed of being part of the cover up. There may be an innocuous reason for the serially identical conclusion. They are correct, and the godlike or goddess-like Diana suffered the fate of many poor mortals. She was killed by a drunk driver. I doubt it. Prince Philip and the MI6 assassinated Diana, Princess of Wales, alert level 4. So that's the thing. I do believe that they got her. Um, so let's, yeah. Any questions before we go into the video? I think, right?
No, no.
Okay. So yeah, this here, like I said, it was an hour and 20 minutes, I guess. But this is where, like I said, he was talking about and he's reading from his book too, because if you read some of the David Icke books, he's got, or actually, I think most of all the David Icke books have about all these conspiracies and stuff in there too, which I would recommend picking them up. I have multiples. I have not read them. They're all very, very large.
That's what she
And
said.
I mean, it is. But,
That's what she said.
that's it. There you go. You're hoping that you'd get that set up. Um, but yeah, so they are really good.
I'm
Good
sorry. I'm
books, good
sorry, my man.
information.
I threw you off very.
You did throw me
threw
off
you
a
off
little bit.
very bad.
Good old
I
that's what she
apologize.
said. So yeah, I guess let's
I
just go into the
apologize.
fucking video. we'll just we'll just go right
Well,
in. But yeah,
we got to have a little laugh, you know.
you
We can't
gotta
be too
laugh in this
serious.
world, man. Otherwise, you're gonna lose your fucking mind. That's for sure.
We can't be too serious, you know.
No, exactly. So yeah, but you'll like this. This is David Icke talking about um, political assassinations, and this is specific on Diana. I would recommend watching the whole thing, but I do believe you need to have an iconic membership. So I'll put the video in there, but as an FYI. Cool. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
And saw the Eiffel Tower
Oh
across
yeah,
the river.
he's explaining
on
he
the other
went
side.
there on a vacation with his
And
family first.
we were all
and then
knackered by this
later.
time, and
He's just
it was
explaining his first
fiercely
vacation.
hot, very loud, and so we got to a bit further up the river near the other big bridge that went across, the road bridge, and sat on a seat that was there, just to have a bloody rest. It was so hot, and we made the decision. Sod it. We'll get off. We can't take any more of this. So we walked across the bridge back to the station and got the train back to Versailles. And that seat, the only time I'd ever been to Paris before I went to investigate this murder of Princess Diana, that seat was on the top of the Pont d'Alba tunnel. Still there today. And I always thought that was kind of symbolically synchronistic, to say the least. Because when I arrived, what I did when I was researching this book, so I went to Paris and I walked the whole way to the Pont d'Alba tunnel, taking exactly the route the car would have taken that night in which Diana died. And when I went above the tunnel, I thought, I've been here before. And it was that seat that day, years and years before. And also, by the way, the few things that you pick up, right at the entrance to the Pont d'Alba tunnel is a big camera, traffic camera, CCTV camera, looking exactly onto the road to the entrance of the tunnel. There were 17 traffic cameras that night between the Ritz Hotel, where her and Dodi Fayed started out, and the Pont d'Alba tunnel. 17! None of them
also
working
interesting with numbers.
when that happened. So the official story's not true, purely by statistical chance. And then
Right.
I picked up something else. These people that listen into police radio? Well, there was a bloke sitting on a seat next to the Eiffel Tower, which is just across the river from the Pont d'Alba tunnel. And he's sitting there listening to the police broadcasts. They went off just before the car left the Ritz Hotel, and they didn't come on until the whole thing was well over. It was about half an hour or so. There was no police radio communications.
Seems legit.
And if ever there's an assassination, well, there's many, you could say this about mine,
There's many.
that was obviously didn't happen as we're told, it's this one of Princess Diana.
Exactly.
So what she was saying in the run-up to her killing is that once, and she said this in books that she was very much involved with, the writer, she said that once Prince Harry was born, the second child with William, then basically the marriage was big time over because they just wanted her genes. That's all they wanted. And also she knew where the bodies were buried, you know, symbolically and literally. So she was a real problem. And she wasn't going to go away quietly. And I remember this story here that I talk about in the book. She talked about her unhappy relationship with the royal family in forthright terms. And I go into that in detail in The Biggest Secret. Bloody hell, the way they treated her.
Yeah.
And of course, she did the famous Panorama interview in which she revealed how she was in a three-way relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles and Charlie Boy. And she, I met a guy, I'll tell you who he is in a minute, who told me when I met him, that in March 1997, that's a few months before she died, he got a phone call from Princess Diana. And the man said that he was amazed when she said that she was Princess Diana, and he didn't believe her at first, especially when she said that she was calling from a supermarket phone in England. But Diana and this man had a mutual friend, a close confidant of Diana. And what she used to do, because she knew that Kensington Palace, where she lived after the marriage ended, she knew that it was bugged.
I couldn't even imagine
so
that.
She would go to this
we live in that reality.
Marks and Spencer phone in the supermarket store, and she would make the calls that she didn't want listened to from there.
That's crazy.
And she told this man that she admired him for his wisdom and knowledge. And she said that she had something to reveal that would shake the world. And she wanted his advice on how best to do it. When I said that I knew she was aware of the Windsor's connection to the global drug trafficking network, is what I said to this man. Well, I know that she was aware of the Windsor's connection to the drugs trafficking racket. He said, oh no, it was worse than that. Well, that man was Credo Mutwa, the
Do you remember him?
Zulu shaman, who I've written extenstivly about.
Oh,
Who
yes.
died in his 90s.
I just didn't remember the name.
He told me
but
this.
Yeah, no.
The second time I met him, he told me this. And they were going to talk again.
Small world.
But of course, never did. Now, the run-up to this assassination came as a result of a guy called Mohammed Al-Fayed. He was the Egyptian owner of Harrods, the big store in London, and in Knightsbridge. And he fronted up for much richer people, where he would buy something, but really they were the owners.
Crazy.
And he
happens all the time, though.
also owned, at least officially, the Ritz Hotel in Paris,
That's where they were
And
staying.
he
Where
had
they left.
been, I know this from a longtime friend of Diana. He had been pressing her to go to his Saint-Tropez estate on holiday and bring the boys, Harry and William. And he tried a number of times to make this happen, but eventually he did. She agreed. And it was on June the 3rd, 1997, that he invited her to join him for a summer holiday at his beachside villa in Saint-Tropez in the south of France. And on June the 11th, he got the breakthrough he had been working so hard when she accepted working so hard for. The following day, he completed the purchase of a 15 million pound yacht. And then
Oh boy.
Too shabby.
that's the yacht
That's
on
it.
which
Doing
this
okay.
apparent romance between Diana and Dodi fired his son
Yeah, he
began
wanted to get
eventually
together.
to blossom. So on July the 11th, Diana arrived at Saint-Tropez with William and Harry, and they were having their holiday. And at this time, Dodi Fayed was in his apartment in Paris, next to the Arc de Triomphe on the Champs-Élysées, with his fiancée, who he was going to marry,
Yeah.
a lady called Kelly Fisher. She was an American
Also
model.
very pretty. Yeah.
And Dodi Fayed, he was 41 at the time, absolute gopher for his father, did everything his father told him to do. And
Smart.
he was bailed out by his father and what have you. He was a bit of a playboy, apparently. So anyway, he was engaged to this Kelly Fisher. He'd been engaged for 8 months.
That's crazy.
And they were planning their marriage. So, but on the evening of July the 14th, Dodi took a phone call from his father, who ordered him to go immediately to Saint-Tropez to be with Diana, because he wanted them together for his own reasons. And Kelly Fisher described what happened next in an interview. And I quote it here. Dodi said he was going to London and he'd be back, and then we were going to Saint-Tropez. That evening, he didn't call me, and I finally got him on his portable phone. I said, Dodi, where are you? And he said he was in London. I said, okay, I'll call you right back at your apartment. He said, no, don't call me back. So I said, Dodi, where are you? And he admitted that he was in the south of France. His father had asked him to come down and not bring me. I now know, she said. So he goes off to Diana on this holiday in Saint-Tropez, and they were preparing for this wedding. Kelly Fisher was back in Los Angeles by this time, preparing for a wedding to Dodi, which she said was due to take place on August the 9th. But 2 days before that, the story broke in the world media of the romance between Dodi and Diana.
Yeah.
Kelly heard from a friend who saw a picture in the paper.
Could you imagine hearing
She
that from
recalls,
fucking
I started
friend
calling him in
paper?
London because at this time I was expecting his arrival in a day. I called his private line, but there was no answer. So then I called the secretary and asked to speak to him, and she wouldn't put me on. So Mohammed Fayed got on, and so in so many horrible words, told me to never call back again. I said, he's my fiance. What are you talking about? He hung up, and I called back, and the secretary said, don't ever call here again. Your calls are no longer to be put through. It
Could you
was
imagine?
horrible. End quote. Well, it sounded it. So here we have a situation where
Dude, like that's how you break up with girls. After
Diana and Dodi are together because of Mohammed Al-Fayed. And then they eventually find themselves in Paris, staying at Dodie's apartment overlooking the Arc de Triomphe on the Champs-Élysées. But they were going out to dinner, and something happened that they thought, oh no, it's safer if we eat at the Ritz Hotel, owned by the father.
Yeah,
and so they go off to the Ritz Hotel.
You'd think.
And then they could have stayed at the Ritz Hotel, because what was happening is that more and more of the media and crowds, as the rumors circulated, were starting to form a crowd outside the hotel, because what had been happening is Mohammed Al-Fayed had been feeding the media that a massive announcement was about to be made about the relationship between Princess Diana and his son Dodi Fayed. So they thought, what are we going to do? Because we need to get back to Dodi's apartment. Well, they could have stayed at the Ritz that night, not a problem.
They should have.
But there was a phone call between Dodi Fayed and his father, who was back in England, in which his father instructed them to basically put a decoy car out the front, so the media thought they were going to come out the front, but they would take another car out the back to his apartment. And so they then, another thing to mention is that when they were in Paris, I mean, Diana, being still part of the British royal family, should have had a particular level of protection.
Absolutely.
But Fayed provided the security and refused the offers of further security from the French authorities.
Exactly.
And it was, I point out in the book here, when a celebrity like Madonna visits Paris, there is a French police vehicle in a car in front of hers, another behind, together with two motorcycle riders, front and back of the motorcade.
But that's what they do.
Cars are driven by trained drivers, and they carry armed security men.
Yep.
According to the French authorities, they made 3, possibly 4 offers to protect Diana, but each one was refused by Dodi. In other words, refused by his father.
Yeah, exactly.
So again, you have this theme of the normal level of security
this
being
is where he's
withdrawn
talking about all the other ones
at a crucial
too.
point. So, like I say, I've been to the Ritz Hotel when I was writing The Biggest Secret.
All the other assassinations.
And I've walked the route. And I put a map in the book which shows
look at this map. You'll love
the
it.
route from the Ritz Hotel
It's a straight
to
fucking shot.
Dodi's flat. And what you do is you come down to a place called the Place de la Concorde from the Ritz Hotel. You go round that, and then you go up the Champs-Élysées, and there's his flat. Minutes. But Henri Paul, the guy who was called back after he had gone off shift to drive that car, and the car which no one had looked over and checked out, that was brought to the back, which had actually been in a crash some months earlier and had then been rebuilt. Henri Paul went from the back of the Ritz Hotel, the famous images of the Dodi Fayed and Diana together waiting.
Yeah.
It went around the Place de la Concorde, but instead of going straight up to Dodi's flat,
straight shot.
it went off towards the Pont d'Alma tunnel, which is a fast road, which is taking you further and further, the longer you go, further and further and further away from Dodi's flat, which is what they're
That's
supposed to
not
be
suspicious at all.
heading for. And then hit the 13th pillar
Which is also
of
interesting.
the tunnel, which they, another thing, they said, oh, it was a dangerous road tunnel, very dangerous. I've walked through it. It's very short, not dangerous at all.
Exactly. It's all
And
bullshit.
so what you have, and there's so many other things I could go into. What you have is the cover story, what you want you to believe, is basically this Henri Paul driver was drunk, and that was the problem, and they were being chased by the paparazzi.
Yeah.
Well, ain't it funny that the camera I mentioned earlier that would have shown if that was true or not, they were racing from the paparazzi, wasn't working.
How about that?
Unfrickin' believable. And this is Bob Loftus, the former head of security at Harrods under Al-Fayed. He said, quote, compared with the protection that Al-Fayed affords himself, which is very professional, of a very high standard, that which was afforded the mother of the future King of England was a Mickey Mouse operation.
Yep.
And then you ask, why? And Loftus also said, Al-Fayed was absolutely paranoid about his personal protection.
I believe it.
Just for him to walk around his own store, there would be 3 or 4 plainclothes members of his personal protection team who traveled with him all the time, plus another 4 uniformed security who would act almost as outriders to create 2 rings of security around him. And that was in his own store.
That's crazy.
And it's also pointed out, I point out here, a new car was introduced for her. Another Mercedes was sent to the rear entrance of the Ritz, supplied by a car hire company called Etoli Limousines, the same name as Dodi's flat. Etoli's Limousines is based at the Ritz and depends for its entire income on contracts from the hotel and its guests. The new Mercedes was a S280, lighter in weight than the 600 series that had been used all day, and without the dark tinted windows. Other cars were available, but this one was chosen instead. And Brian Dodd, the former head of security for Al-Fayed in the 1980s, gave this assessment of the situation, quote, it's a new car that's come into the system. They wouldn't have had time to check that car out. It should have been checked out. There could have been a bomb on the car, for instance. It was a most stupid plan. It shouldn't even have been considered. The backup vehicle is there, not just to avert the paparazzi, but, for instance, a motorcyclist with a pillion rider to pull up and shoot or put a magnetized bomb on top of the car. Yep. That's why the backup car is there, to stop any of that. Why they never had a backup car, God only knows. Well, maybe we don't need God. When you look at the common themes in these assassinations, and not only these, but many others, which is that the official story that we're told is virtually never the real one, never the true one. You then look at who benefits. Well, who benefited from Diana's death was obviously the British royal family.
Yep.
Because a big problem for them was gone.
Yeah, right.
And you look at who had the power to withdraw the usual security at the crucial time.
Yeah.
And those three things keep coming up again and again and again. And it's with the experience of investigating these things over and over again that you can quickly identify the bullshit when another one happens. So I hope you've enjoyed that information.
Yeah, honestly, that is a whole side of it that maybe you've seen in conspiracy stuff or seen in documentaries, but a lot of that stuff isn't really told in the normal story.
Yep.
There's one of the conspiracy theories is that she was pregnant. That she was pregnant with Dodie's child, and they needed to kill her because, she's a broodmare for the royals. So, you know what a broodmare is.
What is it?
It's a female horse that's kept along for breeding purposes. So that's literally like they used her to breed out a couple of children and then they were just gonna kill her off. Like that seems exactly like what it was, especially with her interview, which I don't have in this, but please take a look, do some research on Diana if you're so inclined to like care about them. Otherwise I say fuck the royals. We shouldn't care about them at all. But like in that interview he was mentioning where she was having like an open relationship with her husband, and it's like, oh, okay, but it's because they're a royal and they can do whatever the fuck they want. They don't care about everybody else.
It's the only way.
I guess so. Yeah, that's just like what's funny is I almost feel like the father probably originally wanted like her maybe for his harem, and she got interested in his son because obviously like why would she be interested in that old man? She's got money too. And so then they just said, all right, fuck it, let's stick with my son. I mean, that might not be what happened, but it wouldn't surprise me because if you've ever looked into harems before, please take a look because they are still going on right now. Still going on right now. You know what a harem is, right?
Nope.
You say no?
No.
You don't know what a harem is?
No.
So a harem is, so say you're a big wealthy guy, right?
Yep.
You take this girl, you take this girl, you take that girl. Maybe you like a boy, you throw a boy in there too. But you throw them into rooms, and whenever you want to fuck, you just go walk up and fuck them. That's what a harem is.
Okay.
So it's just sex slaves. You
Yep,
have
pretty
groups of
much.
sex
Okay.
slaves. Yeah. No, I know you didn't want to say sex slave, but yeah, like that's essentially what it is. You have sex slaves. Which honestly, if you need a bunch of sex slaves, just go buy a bunch of they have latex dolls. Just go get like a good one. Throw her in a room.
Get an expensive one.
Right. Well, no, like if you got billions of dollars, you can buy a really nice one. But that's a robot. Dude, you know what's funny? And I'm just gonna bring this out. I'm sorry to bring this up, but there was an article I remember reading about like there was a sex slave, like a sex robot that actually had like somewhat intelligence, and if you were mean to the thing, it wouldn't even have sex with you. And it's like I paid thousands of dollars to get this robot sex slave, and if I don't fucking treat her right, she's not gonna have sex with me. Like, well, then I'll just get in a relationship. Like, what? At that point, what are we doing? That's just stupid. I'll see if I can find the article and throw it up there. But yeah, that's like ridiculous. What a fucking world. What a fucking world. But yeah, so after watching David Icke, did you have like that kind of opened up some shit for you on it, huh?
Yes and no, because like
Similar to what you
everybody
heard.
everybody knows that it was a setup. I've
Was a
already know
setup.
about the relationship problems that she had and everything. So it's like I think it's one of those topics that it's been around for so long that there's like
Yeah,
so
you
much.
probably heard somewhat of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So any questions for you before we go into the next thing? I already pressed the button though. So no questions, right? I meant to
No.
hit the bottom of my keyboard, not the space button, but that's all right. So this next thing here is literally what happened right after the crash from Google AI, of course. But you want left or right?
Right.
Right?
Last time I
Okay.
did it.
Yeah, I know you feel bad about reading less than more, but that's all right. Don't worry about it. So let's see. So, as you know, did he mention? He didn't really go into like the hospital situation thing, right? No,
And sometimes I talk and it seems like you don't hear me.
that's true because when you so there's a noise gate. There's a noise gate that's automatically from Discord. So if you don't speak at a high enough level, it thinks you're
Yeah, I
like
guess that I
background
voice
noise.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So just as an FYI, that's where you need to like articulate as best as possible and try to like speak up. I know I hate it. I hate it too because like I'll say a whole fucking sentence and it's like I didn't capture anything. It's like, well, fuck you.
Yeah, that's why I was
I
like,
don't want to say it
I already
again.
answered. I'm
Yeah,
like, fuck.
exactly. Yeah.
You're making
So
it seem like I was just letting you talk by yourself here.
I am. It does seem that way, at least on my end. But yeah, so yes, he didn't mention like the hospital situation thing, right? Right after the
No,
accident.
he
Okay, he
didn't.
just kind of
Yeah, he didn't go
was
over
kind of the
anything on
story
that.
going up to it. Okay, good.
Exactly.
Which is actually really good information to know because there is a lot of shit that you should probably like pay attention to. I do like that he put the map up there. That's why I didn't put a map up because I knew we were gonna watch the video. But yeah, it was a fucking straight shot from from the hotel to his fucking apartment. But yet they veered off to the right or to the left and just kept going that way and then died. It's like really. So, but yeah, so I asked Google AI, was there a closer hospital to Princess Diana after the accident? Because this is kind of in the book. And yes, the Hotel Dieu Hospital. I don't know. Someone in French correct me. I'm sorry, but hospital was closer to the scene of the accident, but Princess Diana was taken to the farther featured blah blah blah, blah hospital because it was better equipped for her critical multiple injuries. So like, let me stop right there. All right, so you got a hospital within like 10 minutes, right? And you know that you've got a critically injured person. Do you go
Yeah.
to the further one? like,
No, why the fuck would you do that? I'm like, well,
like they should be able to help at this first one and maybe we'll save this
mhm.
person's life. Like whenever you call an ambulance, right? They send the one that's closest to you, one, and then two, unless you fight them, like fight them hard in the actual ambulance, they ain't driving you to another hospital. They're gonna bring you to the closest hospital if it's that, you know, if you're literally gonna die. So yeah, it was better equipped for her multiple injuries. The ambulance passed the closer hospital to reach the specialized heart and neurosurgical teams at Pitié, blah, 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 blah. Key details regarding the transport, the decision, the choice to drive further to the other hospital was made by medical authorities SAMU because they were the primary center for trauma, neurosurgery, and heart surgery, notes Wikipedia. Okay, which we know Wikipedia lies. The journey, the ambulance traveled slowly, taking roughly 1 hour and 43 minutes from the crash to the arrival, including a stop to stabilize her blood pressure. So I'm going to read that again. So they drove past the other place, right? And then traveled slowly, taking roughly 1 hour and 43 minutes from the crash to arrival, including a stop to stabilize her blood pressure. Arrival.
They stopped. They got some
Yeah,
food.
they
They got a
fucking
couple of
stopped off, got a cup of
drinks.
coffee, a little breakfast sandwich. I'm
It's
like,
like,
hey, don't worry.
had a
You'll be all
had a
right.
nice conversation.
We're
How's the
going to
wife
the good
doing?
hospital, guys. You'll be saved once you get there. It might take us a little bit longer, but once we
Oh
get there,
my
you'll be
god.
okay. Uh, Unfucking believable.
That is fucking hilarious.
And this is from Google AI. Arrival. Princess Diana arrived at the whatever hospital at 2:06 with doctors attempting to treat severe chest injuries. The decision to bypass closer hospitals was consistent with French emergency protocols designed to bring patients to the facility best equipped to handle their specific injuries. Okay, well, why'd they get there so slow then? You know what I mean? Like, eh, is it just me, or do ambulances have sirens and lights to get people out of their way? Right?
They gotta take their time, man. You gotta
They,
understand.
that's true. They had to.
They
They had to
had
follow the
to.
speed limit
Yeah, of course.
and be cautious at intersections.
Stop at every red light.
Every red light. That's it. They don't have a bypass. No, the
They
French aren't
never turn the
evolved.
sirens on.
They haven't advanced as far as we have in America. It's like, okay, sure.
Of course they didn't.
Unfucking believable. But yeah, so that's just nuts. Like that right there is like, okay, there's some more fishy shit. It's like this whole
Mm-hmm.
thing is just plagued with fishy shit.
Yep. Sounds like that's the only way.
Yeah, that is the only way. Yeah, when you're dealing with super famous or royals, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to read the right?
Okay. No, I was just like, I don't know if you ever had something else to say.
No, I'm
Did
good.
Princess Diana? Okay. Awkward.
Yeah.
Did Princess Diana need to go through the Alma Tunnel? Oh, here we go. Here we
Yeah,
go.
this is what I wanted to ask because like you saw it on that map, like there was a straight shot.
Yeah, there's like no need to go to the fucking Point de Alma.
And let me ask this, right? If you want to claim that it was all the paparazzi, right? If they had taken the French government up on their tag, like, hey, do you want to have like cop cars in front, cop cars in back, motorcycle cops? Do you know what's not going to happen? The fucking paparazzi are not going to be able to overtake your car. Like
No.
that's reality. Because go whenever there's like some important person heading to like Chicago or something. Try to get close to that car. They'll probably shoot you fucking dead. Like,
Yeah, that's the thing that doesn't make sense. But
exactly.
well,
Uh,
it already happened. I
oh yeah, a
guess.
long time ago actually. Almost what is that? 20 years ago?
Yep, something like that. Fuck, it was a long time
To
ago.
30 years ago. Oh my god. No. Has to be 20 years, right? Cuz I was 10. I was 10 when this happened.
No, there's oh yeah, no, it's exactly 28 years ago.
Okay.
No,
All right.
no, it's gonna be 29 years this year.
Wow. I feel
Mm-hmm.
old now.
Almost 30.
Dude.
Scratching the 30 right there.
Fucking A, dude.
It just passed right by.
It's almost a classic.
Mm-hmm.
It's an unfortunate classic, but yeah.
All right. All right. Princess Diana did not need to go through the Point de Alma tunnel, but her driver took that route on August 31st, 1997 to avoid paparazzi while traveling from the Ritz Hotel. Oh, hold on. So there was not even paparazzi. He was just avoiding the paparazzi. Like he, okay.
Supposedly, but they caught up to him after they left the
Okay.
hotel and blah blah blah. Fake story, fake story.
Okay. Well, traveling from the Ritz Hotel to
Dodi Fayed.
Fayed
Yes.
apartment. The car was speeding to escape photographers when it crashed into the 13th pillar of the underpass.
That's still weird to me, right? 13.
Yeah,
Like,
like they have to specifically say that.
yeah.
Key details regarding the incident. Alternative routes. The tunnel was not the only way to reach their destination, but it was a direct route along the Seine River. Seine
Seine,
River.
yeah, good luck. River.
River, sorry. The escape attempt, the driver, Henry Paul, was attempting
Henri.
to...
He's French. He's Henri
Oh,
Paul.
okay.
I
All
know.
right.
I heard
All
him
right.
say it in that, and I was like, "Oh fuck, it is Henri, isn't it?"
Was attempted to lose paparazzi who were pursuing the vehicle on motorcycles. The
I
crash.
doubt it.
The car entered the tunnel at high speed, estimated over 100 kilometers per hour, before losing control. Immediate aftermath. The crash occurred at 12:23 a.m., and Diana was later pronounced dead at Petit Salpêtrière Hospital.
Good luck, bro. The French hospital. That's what that is.
While some conspiracy theories have questioned the event of that night, official investigations conclude that the crash was a result of high-speed, negligent driving while intoxicated.
Yep. And I don't know if he mentioned it in there or we're gonna see it in the next video, but there's like footage of the driver himself being very coherent and not drunk at all before
That's
it
what I was
even
gonna tell
happened.
you. Yeah.
Like,
Like,
can
what are we
they
doing?
fake blood test showing alcohol? They sure can,
Oh
guys.
my god, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just an FYI. Don't give out your blood if you ever get pulled over and you are drunk. But yeah, so like they didn't have to take that tunnel at all, and there was other places they can go. So why would they go to the what was it? What is it? Point of the Soul.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Tunnel.
So why would they go to that tunnel of all things too? Another question before we watch the video. So yeah, anything before we go to the next thing?
No.
Okay, good. Yeah, I made this quick and simple
Oh
because
shit.
there's very difficult things. Like there is shit if you keep going down like rabbit
My
holes and
eyes.
rabbit holes and rabbit holes and rabbit holes. So like you can find out a lot of stuff. Like
I feel hypnotized now.
well, the issue is like the two videos that I got here kind of like sum it up real easy. Where David Icke's talking about here's what happened, here's the beginning of it, this relationship aspect, here's the people in charge of security. Is there an issue with that? Yes, there is. And then this video is going to go into what you were mentioning when you read that in Spanish and like, oh shit. So this one you're going to like a lot. And you've seen I've shown you Greg Reese videos before, so you're gonna like him. Greg Reese is good. But yeah, any questions before we start it?
No, I just want to get this image out of my face.
Why? You don't like the third eye and the eyeballs?
No. It feels super uncomfortable.
Good. Well, I'm gonna keep it here for another like 10 seconds. Just all for you, buddy.
That's fucking
Because you know your third eye is there, right?
I don't want to be looking like what's it called? Did you ever see Doctor Strange? Where his like the bad CGI? Where
Yeah, the
it's
third
like
one. Yeah.
oh
Where his
my
eyeball
god,
opens up. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, that's so
Dude, the
terrible.
third eye is a real thing, but it doesn't open up
No, I
like
know.
that. It's
I know. I
more
just
further
fucking,
back.
yeah.
Yeah, we should all actually be working on our third eye, just as an FYI. Work on all your chakras, all 7. Because you'll get more once we advance. All right, so you're ready then. You're done looking at the
Yeah.
3 eyes.
Yeah, and
Brings you back to fucking Doctor Strange movie.
yeah.
It was actually good. Sam Raimi. Everybody hated it because it was actually like a bad movie, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was all right. I like Doctor Strange. Okay. All right. So here we go.
Terrible movie.
It was a terrible movie, but I enjoyed it somewhat.
CGI was terrible.
Dude, the CGI
Acting
was
was terrible.
terrible, and the fucking messaging was terrible. It started off with bad messaging from the beginning, and then just progressed further on. And it's like, okay, all right, yeah, stop jamming all your messaging up my ass, Disney. All right, sorry to go on the tangent there, but yeah, so you're ready. All right, so here we go. This is Greg Reese. You're gonna like it.
All right, go for it, man.
Here you go.
"25 years ago, Princess Diana's car crashed inside the Pont de la Alma tunnel in Paris, France. Her lover, Dadi Fayed, died upon impact, along with the driver. And even though Diana survived, it took about 40 minutes to get her from the car to the ambulance.
Yeah, that's weird.
The official story was that they were trying to free her from the car, but several witnesses say that Diana was conscious and unobstructed. Photographs show that the back
probably
seat of the
coulda got out
car
fine.
was undamaged, and witnesses were pleading with the police to open the door and help
Ah.
her. Once in the ambulance, it took about 40 minutes for them to choose a hospital. And when they finally set off, the ambulance drove at a snail's pace and made several stops, taking about 40 minutes to drive less than 4 miles.
Jesus, like Chicago
Doctors were
traffic.
turned away. Witnesses were strip searched. Cameras were confiscated. No evidence was gathered. No blood samples were taken. And by 3 a.m., the entire scene was sprayed down with high-pressure water hoses.
Shocker.
Mercedes wanted to study the wreckage to see why it failed so badly, but they were denied. Diana's body was taken by the royal family, who had her reproductive organs removed before burying her remains. All 17 cameras along the route of the crash were mysteriously turned off, and all radio police frequencies went down. Witnesses were assaulted and threatened, and there was no investigation. Not until the inquest 10 years later, which is when most people learned that Diana had penned a note in 1996 saying that someone was going to kill her in a car accident. This note was concealed for 6 years. At the inquest, experts agreed that Diana would have survived if they had gotten her to a hospital. But the blame was put upon a military-style attack. According to witnesses, a group of motorcycles, along with a white Fiat Uno,
Those were
worked in concert to
paparazzi,
crash the
right?
car. First, with a blinding flash of
Yep.
light, followed by an explosion from the front tire of the Mercedes. During the inquest, a former MI6 agent described being shown the very same plan in 1992 for a possible MI6 assassination of Slobodan Milosevic, and claimed it was MI6 who killed Diana. Because of all this, the inquest ended with the verdict of unlawful killing, blaming her death on the mysterious military hit squad. But the mainstream media spun the entire thing to make it sound like it was the paparazzi
17
that caused her to
paparazzi too,
crash,
and the cameras
which is
are out.
demonstrably false. And while there was no investigation into finding the members of this military hit squad, 3 years later, the alleged driver of the white Fiat, who had ties to MI6, reportedly committed suicide
Weird.
after being found shot twice in the back of the head and burned inside of his car.
Suicide.
During the inquest, many things were kept from the jury, such as the fact that Diana's seatbelt was found to be defective and evidence of the car being sabotaged. Interestingly, these things would have brought more suspicion towards Dottie's father, Mohammed Al-Fayed, who, after turning down repeated offers from the French government to provide security, was solely responsible for Diana's security detail. And at the last minute, had them leave their security detail in front of the hotel as a decoy and take a different car, a car that was recently stolen, broken, repaired, and never checked by security. Left with only one security guard, they were also assigned a new driver. Henri Paul, who had no chauffeur permit, was tied to Foreign Intelligence Services, was seen on camera signaling to someone just before setting off, had received over 50,000 francs the day of the crash.
Weird.
And this was all under the watch of Mohammed Al-Fayed, who was deeply connected to the intelligence community. He was business partners with one of Lee Harvey Oswald's handlers and represented the grandfather of Muhammad Atta. But none of that was mentioned during the inquest. Instead, with the help of pop culture agents such as Howard Stern and Piers Morgan,
Clowns.
Mohammed Al-Fayed has provided the world with the cover story that Diana was pregnant with Dottie's child and Prince Philip had her killed because he's racist, which seems like a strange cover story.
Possible.
That is, if you don't realize that the entire thing was a satanic ritual.
Blam.
Rituals are meant to be witnessed, and the death of Diana is steeped in satanic ritual. The royal family, originally known as the Saxe-Coburg-Gotha bloodline, changed their name to Windsor to sound more British.
course.
Their inbred
To the
family
German.
is traced back to Vlad the Impaler,
Yeah.
otherwise known as Dracula.
That's the
And
reality.
with several proud Nazis in the
Yep.
family, including Prince
There
Philip,
he is.
the royal family is obsessed with pagan ritual and all things occulted.
Buddy.
According to the carefully planned breeding of royal bloodlines, the marriage between Diana and Charles was for the Merovingian ancestry of Lady Diana to be seeded into the royal family. Diana was well aware of this and referred to herself as the Windsor Broodmaid.
Bam.
They were married at St. Paul's Cathedral, owned by the royal family and built upon the site of a Roman temple dedicated to the goddess Diana. According to occult beliefs, the goddess Diana was Lucifer's consort, and on August 13th, 1313, they produced a magical daughter named Aradia. In Freemasonry, this same trio is known as Osiris, Isis, and Horus. This same ritual is shown in the Roman Polanski film Rosemary's Baby, where the innocent virgin is unknowingly recruited by a satanic cult to mate with Lucifer and spawn a child. After the birth of Prince William, Diana became a threat to the family. She had major influence and used it to shine a light on the family's powerful interests, such as the endless war machine. Her life was being threatened, and she told several friends that the family was going to kill her. Less than a month before her death and after a series of affairs, Diana started seeing family friend Dadi Fayed, and on August 31st, the satanic ritual sacrifice date for the goddess Diana, Diana of Wales was driven out of the way past an ancient Egyptian obelisk and into a tunnel named in dedication to the goddess
Dude,
Diana.
like, what the fuck?
Inside this tunnel, Diana's Mercedes crashed into the 13th pillar, where she was kept to bleed to death above a known ancient Merovingian underground chamber for the ritual blood sacrifice worship to the goddess Diana. This is the religion of the world's elite. Prince Philip said he would like to be reincarnated as a deadly virus to wipe out humanity.
He's a good guy.
His underling, Maurice Strong, co-founded the World Economic Forum with Klaus Schwab. And Prince Charles, who brags of being related to Dracula, co-founded the World Economic Forum's Great Reset Initiative. These are the leaders of the so-called New World Order. These monsters are the best that they have. Reporting for InfoWars, this is Greg Reese.
Dude.
These monsters.
Dude, they are fucking monsters. But, like, that video right there puts it all kind of together real fast for you if you want to go down that rabbit hole. It's like, oh my God, yeah, no, it was a ritual sacrifice. That's exactly what happened. Because people don't actually even question about all the miles and miles of bones that are underneath Paris, right?
Yeah.
In the catacombs. Like, let me just stop right there. Let me just stop right here about the catacombs and ask, who the fuck would put strategically all the bones together in such a way to make miles and well, beyond the fact of where the fuck did they get everybody, you know, but miles and miles of perfectly put together bones like femurs and whatever, arm bones, like forearms and all this shit. They got everything all together, all stacked up perfectly. You're not allowed to touch the bones either, which I wouldn't recommend it anyway. But, like, that's kind of fucked in itself. But no one asks about it. They charge you money to go visit it. It's like, fucking believable. It's so demonic. All this shit. And we see it on face. We see it as face value because we're told, oh, it's because of this. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, that seems pretty demonic if they, like, separated all the, because aren't you supposed to put all the bones together and bury the person? You're not supposed to take like this guy's femur and this guy's femur and make a wall. Like that's fucking it's weird. It's weird, Eddie. It's very weird.
Let's just do the. Let's just just put all the bones in random.
Well, no, they're not
Random.
even. The funny thing is, they're not even random, because the way that they're set up is actually like with harmonics and frequencies and shit, so that it like that's the same as a lot of the churches that are around the U.S. and all over the supposed world. A lot of the churches have catacombs underneath them too, and they're kind of set up the same way, where they've got all the bones set up in a certain way, and that's like to reverberate the frequency because the bones are hollow, and so it actually like has like an echo feature and then comes back up, and so that's where, like, when you play the pipe organ, it's even crazier because you've got this fucking basement filled with bones. It's gonna bring it back up, so it actually like reverberates through your body a different way. It's crazy. Oh, it's so fucking weird. This world, man. It's so demonic, and they tell us it's not. It's like it is. It just fucking is. You can't lie to me.
Talking about? There's nothing going
Yeah,
on.
that's it. That's it. Believe in Jeebus. You'll be good.
We have no eyes, my man. We can't see.
We should have a third one. See, your image came back up. But yeah, but no, I think honestly, hearing from David Icke talking about it and then watching this afterwards kind of gives you a good icing on the cake. It's like, okay, yeah, it was all fucked and super fucking weird. And if anybody wants to keep looking further into it, please do, because there's other shit you can find, and I guarantee it. Like, I had heard once, it's like, oh, did they, Diana saw them shapeshift because they're reptilians and whatnot. And it's like when David Icke was mentioning that with like the person that he talked to, which was our dear friend who was telling us about reptilians. Maybe that is actually what was going on. But at the end of the day, she might have just seen a ritual killing or something. So yeah, I know you want to get rid of this image. So any questions before we go on to the next thing, which I think brings us into the face on Mars?
I think we're ready to go to the face on Mars.
Yeah, because this one's kind of like weird, but yeah, it is weird. I didn't make it weirder for people. Please go look yourself and find out how weird it really is. So this is chapter 24. We are on the face on Mars, which let's ask Eddie, because then I can go get myself another beverage. What do you know about the face on Mars? I know you said you've seen like pictures.
Big thing. It was a big thing back in the day, like when they discovered it, and it was all over news outlets.
But that was in
it
the
was like
70s, and you weren't born in the 70s.
No, there's something else that they brought up recently. Like I remember seeing like there was another face in Mars. I swear to God, because I remember seeing the outlets and everything.
Maybe. What's funny is the video that we watch here, this first one, is the ancient school guy, and he actually goes over all like the images, and you can clearly see like, well, the other thing that's interesting is like the amount of color that they send out. So like if you look at any of these images that you get from NASA, they're all color corrected, just as an FYI, even for the fucking planet Earth that they claim we live on. So like supposedly there's like if you look up I think it's called the blue marble. Yeah, I think it's called the blue marble. I think they did it in like 2006, where they interviewed the guy at NASA that actually gave you the blue marble. That's on your iPhones, by the way.
And what about all of the pictures of the Earth?
They are all clearly computer-generated images. They claim this picture from Apollo 17 in 1972 is real, and they also claim that the 2015 Epic Earth picture is real. But NASA employee Robert Simon gave us a glimpse of how they do it when he shared his experience of creating the Blue Marble 2.0 in 2002. He is now called Mr. Blue Marble. He was interviewed and on record stating, "The last time anyone took a photograph from above low Earth orbit that showed an entire hemisphere, one side of the globe, was in 1972 during Apollo 17. NASA's Earth Observing System, EOS, satellites were designed to give a checkup of Earth's health. By 2002, we finally had enough data to make a snapshot of the entire Earth, so we did."
In 2002, Blue Marble 2.0. NASA's Rob Simon made this. Simon's job is...
It's primarily taking data and making pictures out of it.
That's what this is, a composite of data sets from several different instruments translated into a picture.
So we actually had to take clouds out.
They stashed the clouds for later, went onto the ocean. That came from an instrument that measures phytoplankton in the sea.
Where it was low, I colored it dark blue because they're low mostly in mid-oceans. And then where it was a little bit higher, it was like a little bit brighter green.
Then add the clouds back in.
There's a small problem with it because there's a very slight gap in between each orbit.
So some of those are painted on.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
Then
There was another layer to sort of simulate the atmosphere.
and then there's this little bright spot.
It's called the specular highlight. So it's the reflection of sunlight off of water.
Those are the pieces, but you can't just slap them all together.
It just didn't look realistic. It looks kind of flat, or the clouds are sort of too see-through. So I just hit Command Z a lot.
There's artistry to creating the world.
What I imagine it to be. Unfortunately, I'm not an astronaut. I've never been to space. But I've looked at these images over and over again, trying to sort of get the essence of it. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. It is photoshopped, but it's
Phones, by
has
the
to
way.
be.
That image of the Earth was created by NASA from just like images of it just going like straight over it. So it's not a picture. It's
Hold
not
on,
a picture of the Earth. Go ahead.
I get why, like, that thing, like, it was brought up recently, because there was a movie last year that was called The Face on Mars.
Well, what's funny is there was an X-File episode back in the 90s that actually had a Mars mission where a guy went nuts because he got like taken over by the spirit of the face on Mars, and it just shows like an image of the face of the face of the face just like attacking him when he's on this next mission thing. It's silly. But what is this? What did you see?
Yeah, there was a movie that came out. It's called The Face on Mars last year. So that's why I remember seeing it like
Last year.
pop up recently. Yeah,
That's
2024.
honestly, I feel like the only reason that they put that fucking movie out there is because Elon Musk talked about going to Mars. And oh, speaking of that, we were supposed to go to the moon again, or at least launch to go to the moon again on the same week, the same Sunday for the Super Bowl. But we didn't. We postponed it. Oh, now we're going in March. It's like, okay. When you guys see that last video I have on here, you'll be like, okay, are they really going to go? It's like, here's one thing I will mention to everybody is take a look at how many satellites go up on weather balloons. Okay, take a look at that, because the satellites that we know of may not be orbiting our planet. Just want to throw that out there in the beginning here before we get, knee deep into it. But yeah, anything else you got before we go into the first thing? I think we're reading.
No, I'm good.
Okay. I'm going to have you read the left because there's more, and then I'll read the right. In your
He's like,
face, brother.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about faces. The face on Mars is a famous geological formation in the Cydonia region of Mars that appeared to resemble a human face. It's a photograph taken by NASA Viking 1 orbiter on July 25, 1976. Well, it fueled widespread speculations about extraterrestrial life and artificial structures. Subsequent higher resolution imaging has confirmed it is a natural enrouted massa. Key facts about the face of Mars. Location. The feature is located in the Cydonia region, a transition zone between the created southern highlands and smooth northern plains. Initial discovery. Taken on July 25th, 1976, the Viking 1 image was initially described by NASA as a huge rock formation which resembled a human head. The reality. The face look was an optical illusion.
Don't you love that? Real quick. The reality.
Camera. Yeah. Camera, specific lighting, angles, sunlight from the side, and shadows that created the appearance of eyes and nose, and a mouth. High-resolution images. In 1998, 2001, and 2006, NASA's Mars Global Surveyor and the European Space Agency Mars Express obtained images with much higher resolution, up to 2 meters per pixel. These images showed a natural, heavily enrouted mesa, not an artificial monument. Psychological phenomenon. The face of Mars is a classic example of pareidolia, the human tendency to see similar shapes, particular faces, and random patterns. Similar features. The Syntonia region is full of eroded, pyramid-like, and knobby hills, often called debris aprons. Continued interest. The face remains a subject or scientific study for planetary geologists, as the mesostructure provides insight into the history of erosion and the presence of water ice in Mars' past. Despite being debunked as an artificial structure, the face of Mars remains an ironic through natural
Iconic.
feature, iconic through natural feature of the Martian landscape.
Ironic is a whole nother word.
Yeah. Well, it is ironic.
I mean, it all is ironic. It really is.
Yeah.
I am surprised you got caught up on the Mesa word because that's Spanish. But so going on.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm gonna read the next thing, and then I'm gonna read his book. So, do they share all images of the rover on Mars? Because this is important. Like, obviously it's all fake anyway. But so, do they all share all the images of rover on Mars? Because that's what we pay to have done, right? So they did they took the pictures from supposedly around it, and then they landed something on there for millions and millions of dollars, and now they drive around and take pictures with the remote control car. Okay. So, do they share all images of the rover on Mars? Yes. NASA, I love this. Yes. NASA generally shares almost all raw images taken by Mars rover with the public. So, two times they said not really, because generally and almost are not like yes. Do you know what I mean? Like, so they're already lying to you twice in the same sentence. That's fantastic. Typically within 24 hours of receiving them on Earth, these images are uploaded to dedicated raw image websites for missions like Perseverance and Curiosity. Here is a breakdown of how the images sharing works. This is funny. This is all comical. Raw versus processed. The images immediately released are raw, unprocessed, black and white. Why is it black and white when we have how many spectrums that we can take pictures
They
in?
were not photoshopped.
Sometimes contain collaboration marks or dust. Color images. While many raw images are in black and white, from navigation or hazard cameras, color images from science cameras like Mastcam Z, which is probably a weird name, are also released through, though they may appear uncalibrated. Where to find them? NASA provides public free access to these images via their raw images websites from the Perseverance, Curiosity, and other missions. Exception. Data bandwidth. If the rover takes thousands of images, some particularly technical or engineering images might not be transmitted back immediately to prioritize scientific data. Proprietary data. Scientists sometimes have a short, limited period, often months, not years, to analyze specific data before it is released to the public. So they get a couple months to doctor it before they send it out to people. Although this is becoming rarer with modern open data policies. Technical issues. Occasionally, images may not be released if they are corrupted or deemed irrelevant, though this is rare. Oh, okay. So they're not going to, but it's rare. It's rare that they're not going to give you everything that they take. Okay? Don't worry. Don't worry about it, Eddie. The images released are considered public domain. Yeah, because we fucking pay for it. NASA's funded by us. public domain, allowing anyone to view, download, or process them. So, do you think they're giving us everything that they've taken pictures of?
And that's like, I love how he says it's not been processed. It's just like a fucking nice word of saying we didn't have time to Photoshop it.
We didn't correct it. Yeah. We haven't doctored it yet for you guys, so it's not available.
And I know we
Sorry.
have talked about it too. Like they Photoshop
Everything.
a lot of the pictures that they take. And they
Earth.
release
We
them
still
public.
don't have a fucking picture of Earth. It's 2026. Ask them for a picture of Earth. They do not have one. Every single one is created from them. So, if you still want to think we live on a ball, but whatever, guys. Just honestly, literally go look. Go look and ask and see if they have an actual picture of the Earth. They will not be able to provide it. All they'll be able to say is, oh, well, here's what we created via Photoshop. Like I said, look up the blue marble. I think it was like 2006. That's the image that's on your iPhones. And when you look up that video, you'll actually see the guy say, "Oh, well, no, it is photoshopped, but it has to be." It's like, well, why? Why does it have to be? Aren't you guys in space? Can't you just take a fucking camera? I'll send you a fucking camera. Like, it might be just one of those cheapo disposable ones, but just take a picture from the fucking windows. Aren't you guys literally circling this Earth the whole time? I don't trust it, Eddie. I don't trust it. Okay. So yeah, anything else you got before I read this book?
No.
Okay. And I want to say, yeah, well, let me read the first paragraph here. So, the face on Mars. Humans are gregarious creatures, so it's no wonder we're uncomfortable with the idea of being all alone in the universe. Science has yet to conclusively prove that we are other than an insignificant anomaly in the grand scheme of things. So we can't be blamed for getting a little bit excited when what seems to be proof of existence of neighborhood aliens comes along. Let me read the next thing so it actually gives a little more detail. On 25 July 1976, the craft Viking Orbiter 1 was busy acquiring images of Cydonia region of Mars in search of potential landing sites for Viking Lander 2. Its pictures of the Martian landscape revealed exciting geological formations, a mixture of plains and mesas and butts, B-U-T-T-E-S. I think that's how you pronounce it. Large rocky outcrops familiar in American Southwest. But what the NASA scientists could not have expected to see was a giant face staring back at them from the planet's surface. And I don't have pictures of it here. I'll put up pictures in the video, but like when we watch this next video, you're going to see a ton of it. So like I don't want to waste your time too many times. And then so yeah, let's just read the last paragraph and then his alert level. So it's very hard to release an idea that's consumed you for a quarter of a century, and the Martian conspiracy theory carries on regardless. Yeah, it carries on regardless, so they think that we're clowns. Some are claiming the face can still be clearly seen if only it is subjected to enough image processing. Others say NASA has released fake pictures in order to keep the uncomfortable knowledge of Martian life a secret. The rest of the world has quietly forgotten the face. And face on Mars. Has NASA covered up proof of life on the red planet? Alert level 2. So he does not think there's anything. When we watch this video, though, you're going to be like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, okay, I can see that. And then when you watch the second video I got, you're going to be like, oh, so it's all fake. So, so just as an FYI, I have both arguments here for the people who are so sure that NASA is doing these things. And then the other video is like, are they even doing anything or just taking your money? So, yeah, what kind of questions you got before we roll into, I think, the video?
Oh, I got no questions.
Okay, you're gonna like this. You're gonna like this. Yeah, it is the video. So this here is the ancient school, which is interesting because the whole thing is like, I want to see. 8, 9. I think it's 6 or 9 videos total that you watch, and he does kind of go into like the Sumerian tablets, and he does because if you actually go through Zechariah Sitchin's research where he deciphered the Sumerian tablets, he actually did say that the Anunnaki, which was the race that supposedly created the human race, they came here from Mars, transitioned to Earth because they destroyed Mars, and that's why they came here to make our civilization, and they made our civilization to mine gold because we were slaves. And then it goes on from there. I got all his books. I've read most of them. They are actually really good, but they're really boring to read because it almost feels like you're reading the Bible or something. It's like they're not very interesting. Like it's not like a story. It's like, hey, this. So FYI, if you're reading Zechariah Sitchin, they are good books. A lot of information in there. You will find out some information. But I think we've been lied to about everything, guys. Every single fucking thing we've been told, I think we've been lied to. So yeah, any questions you got, Mr. Eddie, before we start this beastie? Nope, you're just on board with the lies.
Yep.
All right, good. That's what I like to hear. So this is ancient school, everybody. You'll like this. This is good.
But, we really have to raise the question that the city and this pyramid, the face, and some of these other structures, they weren't built by chance to be in similar placement to each other.
How
These
weird is that?
angles
That's a
just
fucking
don't
face.
exist naturally without a cause. So clearly we're seeing signs of a civilization that existed on Mars, but obviously this is thousands of years ago. Maybe this is at the same time frame of what we're looking at with these alignments in Giza at 10,500 BC. There's very clear possibilities of an advanced civilization that was globally all over Earth and also possibly on Mars. Now, again, when we look at these structures, you can see that people have speculated that they're actual, complex pyramids in various shapes and sizes, and that could be the case. These have been eroded over thousands of years, and so their true shape, nature, or purpose is really kind of foreign to us. But again, we're looking at structures on another planet, and obviously we can see similarities from what we have here on Earth as a living planet. The dead Mars still gives us signs that there was life. Now, let's really look at this ancient shoreline up close for a second. You can clearly see, again, this what appears to be a landmass where it's all bright, knobby terrain, more of a dusty look, to this water area where it's very sedimentary looking, darker, less disturbance. The topography is very clear to what we would see here on Earth, that this slight change in topography is an actual shoreline. And the face has been situated in water so that these various structures, since we all love to live on waterfront property, would be situated perfectly to look out at this large edifice, which is, just so you know, 1,500 feet high and over a mile long on its longest side here. So it's not a small object. But the shoreline clearly exists. Here it is from just a different angle. And again, the terrain change right along where all of these objects are. There's almost like things that would lead right into the ocean. It's very clear that these objects, if they are artificial, are conveniently built right on a shoreline. And the face is situated where it's literally angled to these objects, where it would clearly be visible as an edifice of a face, a large
seems weird,
face
doesn't it?
being seen from the shoreline. So we have to wonder if this isn't just by chance. We have to realize that the placement of these structures gives it a perfect view of this face. So there must have been some great prominence for why this face was carved. And if we look into Zechariah Sitchin's book, The Lost Book of Enki, he clearly talks about why this god was banished to the planet Mars and why his followers made this large edifice of his face. So if we want to believe the evidence, the same gods that created us in their image and after their likeness, based on the Sumerian texts,
Right.
we're also on Mars, and we're probably responsible for that Cydonia complex. when this image was
Looks like a
first
face.
transmitted live from NASA in the 1970s, they just labeled it head, right? And they just said it's a trick of light and shadow. Clear shadow defined here because the sun's probably up at this angle.
That looks like a
But
nose
as we've
and a
seen
mouth,
in the last lesson, that answer did not hold up. So I really just want to stress the point that even though this face is badly damaged, we've clearly been able to extrapolate that there's data that needs to be taken under further consideration.
Yeah, they
I mean,
came back
obviously,
and it was
these
like
are
fucked up
Sphinx-like characteristics. If you just looked at this,
afterwards.
the similarities of it being lion-like, Egyptian-like, pharaonic-like, you know, some type of headdress, the winged disc, clearly visible, some type of, you know, Egyptian symbology embedded into this structure. There must be a connection between the Sphinx and pyramids in Egypt and the face and pyramids on Mars. So we will definitely explore this as the data continues to become available as a public view. We will continue to image Cydonia unless there's a huge public outcry like there was in the 90s where we literally picketed in front of NASA. No joke. They're not going to release a lot of images of these structures.
But they said they
do. If the public
do.
is encouraged strongly enough to make an outcry, we can get further data.
Yeah, more doctored images.
Please be aware of the missions that we're sending to Mars, because as you're going to see in these next few frames, there is critical information right in front of our nose. You just have to pay attention to it. ESA is one of the latest satellites that we have orbiting Mars, taking color photographs of the surface of the planet. Now, color is really a key word there. NASA has been sending probes to Mars for several decades, and we never get color images. Never. That doesn't mean that they're not taking color images. They actually image the planet in a larger spectrum of light than what our human eye can process.
This is what's interesting.
But I think that might be for a reason. It's almost like they don't want to show us what the human eye's perspective of scenery is like on Mars. We get these scientific views of larger spectrums of light being taken in from the camera, but it doesn't give you the visible light range that you would see if you were on the surface of the planet. Coincidentally, most of the imagery that we get from the surface of Mars, with a simple color correction done in any imaging platform for what RGB colors we would see through the human eye, turns out Mars takes on a much more different and interesting look than we've been shown. So ESA is definitely one of the satellites that's going to help us bring more clarity into the only view that we've had up to this point, which is through NASA's lens. Now, this is the point in case number one. The Gusev crater is a very specific region that we've been looking at on Mars. It looks like it's an ancient ocean or the floor of an ocean. Lots of water was passing through this area. And what we've seen in NASA photographs is this. I should have put this image first, to be honest with you. This appears in the Gusev crater. And when we first look at it, we're like, huh, are these oily streaks of liquid or
looks like
some
grass,
type of wind that's moved these, the streaky lines? We really don't know. And even if we zoom in on it, it doesn't really give you a lot of detail as to what you're seeing. It kind of looks like vegetation, though, like a grassy field or something.
Yeah.
Well, turns out that when we image this same area using the ESA, that region is shown in color as being green. We have to wonder, folks, if why we're seeing in color on Mars what looks very clear structurally and color-wise to be vegetation. But NASA will only show us the black and white version. Please refute this information, NASA. If anyone from NASA is taking ancient school lessons, I would love to hear a blog post as to why there's only black and white data released to the public. Now, sometimes we have imagery and images that are released from NASA that show up in the Mars Global Surveyor archives or the Mars Curiosity, Mars Pathfinder, various places where you can just Google and look at the images being released by the public. These, as an interesting archival find, were actually from the Viking missions in the 70s. And again, what we see are two things of interest here. One is the fact that there's frost on the surface of Mars. That's frozen water,
The fuck?
folks.
Yeah.
Snow on the surface of Mars. I mean, that must be significant when talking about looking for signs of life. Obviously, water is a huge prerequisite to being able to support life. Another interesting thing is if you take a lot of these images, even from the 70s, and just do a simple color correction for what you would see as if you were actually standing on the surface as a human, the lenses in the cameras that take the photographs take a much larger spectrum of light. When we enhance those or color correct for the human eye, this is what we see on Mars.
Yeah.
The actual color of the snow and the actual color of the sky. Much more Earth-like. Why is this being withheld?
It's weird,
Every
huh?
once in a while on a live press conference, they'll show you a color-corrected view.
Yeah.
But this is what
Clowns,
we
'cause
normally
they're
are
so
shown.
dumb.
Mars is a dead red planet. I don't think so, folks. I think all the evidence is starting to turn the other way. Mars is much more Earth-like, much more than I think we care to admit publicly right now. It might be dead as a planet that we would consider. It might still harbor life in some of these caves and things. We'll talk about that at the end of the presentation. But clearly, we're seeing evidence here that Mars is a lot more Earth-like than we've been shown. Now, when we look at a lot of this data, color-corrected, we can again see similar minerals and rocks that we have, that we share here on Earth, also with Mars, that when they're color-corrected, Mars again shows all the signs of being more of an Earth-like planet, from the atmosphere to the sky, again, to the minerals and lake beds and ocean beds that we're finding. And this is really a key part, is the fact that we're finding what appear to be ancient saltwater oceans that were flowing on Mars. I'm finding evidence that shows water is still flowing on Mars today, but we just haven't publicly admitted it yet. Now, some of the evidence that they've been releasing, again, this is from 2004, they do press releases saying signs of a saltwatery sea from NASA. You know, clearly we've landed in an area that is an ancient rock bed of debris, like salt and sedimentary debris. It covers these areas that shows water was freely flowing in these various parts of Mars. We see Mars still has that ice cap in the bottom. You know, the top and bottom have polar ice caps, but there's pretty good evidence to show that the water was flowing freely all over the surface of Mars, similar to what we have here on Earth. Now, when we
that
look
looks
at
like a
various
big ocean.
sections of this Gusev crater or other areas on Mars that they're studying, again, we see this clear evidence that there was a water flow, and they're even starting to get measurements as to how thick the water level was in various spots. And what you can see, these little dots are very clear signs of water and sedimentary debris being left in this type of a form. We see this all over the Earth, as well as clearly now on Mars. What's interesting about this is not only are they looking at the fact that there's sedimentary debris, but every now and then, even in their just daily mundane scientific reporting, anomalies appear. This one that we're looking at here is very interesting because they basically said that, you know, just a little time passed, and then all of a sudden, when they looked at the imagery, this mysterious metallic, what they said looks like a jelly donut, which I think is a bad description. But this mysterious rock just appeared out of nowhere. And the only explanation they can give is that the tire, which you can see from the rover, that's the pod of it is here, the tire track might have kicked out a piece of debris when they moved it about 1 meter. But, you know, that's very unlikely. So I'm not saying that somebody put this here, and obviously it wasn't here just a little while before, but it is interesting to note that there are these anomalous things. Even with their mundane scientific reporting that they're doing, they will have to acknowledge some of the anomalies that kind of show up in their footage as things progress, investigating the surface of Mars. Now, I don't know exactly what this is. It does not match any of the other debris in the area. It does not look like it's a piece of the rover or the lander in any way. So
looks like they had a sandwich
have to wonder
from a
what that is.
truck that
Now,
was a
going
food
back
truck
to
and
again
just
the
threw it on the
evidence of
ground.
water, there's so much imagery that we see
Or
on Mars
burrito.
that very closely resemble geologic things that we can see on Earth in comparison. I'd like to look at a few of these and show you, again, the similarities of what we see in satellite telemetry over Earth, forests and cities and lakes and such, and compare that to what we're seeing on Mars. We can clearly see that there's this ancient water flow, and to me, not only does this show significant signs
Dude.
that water was flowing here by the erosion, but possibly current water that's there now. I mean, is this
Yeah, that
actual
looks
signs of
looks like
depth
water.
of water that we're looking at?
Yeah.
These are questions that need to be asked.
Yeah, that's a fucking lake.
Some of
for
these
sure.
photographs, I mean, they look
In
just like a
winter.
lake. What we're seeing again is a surface area of Mars that this appears to be stagnant water. Now, it might be that this ice is actually partly frozen water,
Sure.
but we're seeing clear signs of
That
standing
looks like a lake,
water on the
right?
surface of Mars. And the things around it, they look almost like bacteria or some type of, fungal growth or plant growth, bacterial growth, clearly, similar to what we see here on Earth.
Mhm.
We have to wonder if, this imagery that we're seeing from the surface of Mars isn't exactly what it looks like. Actual
Yeah, it looks like
standing
a
water,
forest.
actual plant life, not just like one little plant, but large areas of the planet
Yeah.
covered by plants and water. Why is this being withheld from the public? These,
Yep.
again, are images freely available in some of the NASA archives of
Yeah,
current
like what
footage that
what
we're
are
gathering
those if
from
not
probes we're sending
trees?
there.
Right?
Now, if you
Yeah,
look at
here
the
you go.
similarities, this is, again, from Google Maps, and you can see standing water and the color. And when we compare that to literally the same areas on Mars as far as, landmass and how they appear, standing water, what appears to be vegetation,
Yeah.
there has to be some coincidence beyond just chance that we're seeing very similar geology on the surface of Mars from
It's
what we
weird,
have
isn't
here
it?
on Earth. Now, again, a lot of these images are freely available on the NASA archives, and I'm not sure why they're not being publicly talked about, but in my opinion, this is very primitive forms of some type of plant life. Now, obviously, we're not going to be able to confirm this until we're really exploring these surfaces up close, which, again, begs the question as to why there isn't a rover roving around in these
Mhm.
areas or being
Mhm.
splashed down into this water to look at this
Fucking A.
ancient, lake of standing water that still exists. My
Yep.
instincts tell me that's exactly what they're doing, and the rovers that we see are just fluffing around in these deserts and dry lake beds when there's actual real research going on in the more interesting location.
Right.
In mind as
I
we
cut
start
it
to
here
look
to
at
another
other
part.
areas of the
Yeah.
surface of Mars, because this was first picked up in the 1970s
That's
from
a
the
face.
Viking orbiter. And as it came down the live transmission, they simply labeled it head. And they said that after imaging it at a certain time later, the shadow here uh, caused this light and shadow effect is the way the sun was hitting it. And so under a different lighting condition where the shadow might move over to here, that the face disappears and there's no longer a face. Wow, that was definitely a wrong answer by NASA,
Yeah, you
because several
fucks.
people going through the NASA archives, including myself, have found imagery that basically flushes that right down the drain.
Nah.
Data that shows that this definitely does deserve a further scientific appreciation. And again, if we were to just zoom in and look at it, even in this
It's a
raw
fucking
data,
face.
we can make out what appears to be some type of a headdress, possibly symmetry of clearly a face-like
Yeah.
structure, eyes, nose, and mouth. So this really does raise a lot of questions into saying, this was just a fragment of light and shadow. Okay, so we're going to be looking at this one specific area where the face has been
It
located.
looks like a face from
And
this
what's
angle.
interesting about this area isn't just that there's a face, but the surrounding structures in this area seem to have been mined or have been connected and possibly are an ancient city that we've now found on Mars. Now, anyone in the topic of ufology might be familiar with Cydonia. It's a very popular topic once you Again, looking into the field of ufology or the ancient astronaut theory. But hopefully these lessons can be a good gateway into anyone new to these topics or just being introduced. I also find a lot of people struggle with trying to explain this information, which they might find interesting, but find a hard time relaying it to someone else so that they might get that same spark of interest. Well, that's why Ancient School is a great place, is that
struggle
you
I
can not
deal
only
with.
share your interests in learning this information with others, but also refer them and say, listen, just go see for yourself on Ancient School. Okay, so, if we look at some of these images up close in more detail, again, these are all from Viking 1. So this is all data that we originally took in the 70s. We just now, over the last 10 years, have revisited these surface structures. And this is some of the imagery that we've gotten in 1998. Now, what you're going to see here is a very interesting track record that, for some reason, other areas of Mars, the geology and the clarity is immaculate, very impressive. But when we get to the face and the pyramids, all of a sudden the resolution is just thrown out the window. All of our 30 centimeter per pixel high resolution cameras seem to have problems or are being used in a limited fashion.
Shocker.
So here's a view of the face in 1998. Now, it still looks like a face. It's very badly eroded. Looks like a bomb hit it, possibly.
Yeah, they blew the fuck out of it.
Very bad damage. Something has happened to it, and it's very hard to discern that it's still a face until you look closer. Now, again, we have imaged it in more recent times. And again, it seems as if it's gotten worse. Now, in the original images of 1976, it was clearly a face. There were even different shadow angles confirming that it's a face. Here we find 2 different samples from that time frame. Shadow is here. The shadow is not there. The sun is literally right overhead. Like I'm the sun, I'm hitting the face here. If I'm the sun, I'm hitting the face from here.
No.
The shadow is different. The face is still there.
1998,
it looks bad. 2001, even worse. 2002, you see where I'm going. Now, every other area of Mars, the face looks excellent. But for some reason, when they get to this area, we start to have problems. Now, thank you to the research of the Enterprise mission and Richard Hoagland, who might actually be giving you future lessons here at Ancient School.
Yeah, he's got good books.
You can see that what they found was that by looking at certain other areas, using the Mars orbital camera from the Global Surveyor, this main camera had a resolution that would look at other areas in great detail, and the resolution that they released for these areas was great. Now, when they took their first images of the face, this is what they released. You had to color enhance it and do data correction to actually see it. And they were only using 2/3 of the available 256 color spectrum of a grayscale image. They weren't using the full data. It's almost like they were hiding it. They reduced the resolution.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Well, let's take another look. When you look at this face from 1998, you rotate it 37 degrees so that it's looking at you head on, just like as if you were talking to another face, we can still extrapolate quite a bit of data even from this badly damaged image. Now that I've rotated it 37 degrees, I created a left half and a right half. And by simply looking at these 2 halves as individual sections, again, some interesting data can be extrapolated. Again, we've just taken the 1998 image, rotating it 37 degrees, and when I split these 2 sides and mirror them, some interesting pieces of evidence come out here. In this right side, you can clearly see that even though it's badly fragmented, when I flip it and mirror it, we still see facial characteristics.
It looks like a face. Yeah.
Linear characteristics.
Eyes,
forehead,
nose,
eyes, nose, mouth, possibly a beard. Now, again, that's some data extrapolation, but when we look at this other side, this left side, and mirror that, something else emerges that's
looks like a
too
headdress.
much to just be by chance.
Egyptian.
And if we look at this again in detail, what we're seeing is clear symmetry around the headdress. What appears to be some type of actual amulet, possibly a winged disc, some type of Egyptian pharaonic headdress. I mean, this is coming off of the surface of Mars. What's it doing
what the
there,
fuck?
right? There has to be a connection here, which can coincidentally, the next lesson, of course, is the Mars-Earth connection in lesson 3. But as we can see here on the surface of Mars, this face just has too many coincidences to just be a natural phenomenon. Eyes, nose, mouth. So all of this, and looking at it even under closer detail, just reveals too much evidence for us to say that this is by natural chance.
That's
now,
the face.
it is possible that wind or, certain mountains looked at from a certain angle look like a face. And that's the only way that they've tried to attack this, but not with a real mathematical analysis, which we're going to look at here in today's lesson. Now, other areas around the face show symmetry that,
this is weird.
again, denote some type of artificial influence. We saw here in 1976 something near the face that appeared to be looking like a dolphin, but we couldn't really understand what it was. Well, in 1998, we re-imaged this area, and this dolphin-like figure, whatever it is, has these perfectly cut or tube-like items that again are showing symmetry that is not natural. Something was being done in this region. When we compare the data from 1976 to 1998,
new sun
basically
angle.
what we're seeing here is higher resolution
20 years
of these,
later,
initial
sun's
objects
changed.
that were filmed at Cydonia. For a long time, this has been called the city, possibly a second face here matching the face, but unfinished, and what appear to be pyramids and a fort of some kind, even some type of inner structure of 4 connected dots, and another pyramid with little nodes coming out of it. And then a very large pyramid down here. Again, the angles on these objects under higher resolution are still being confirmed as pyramids.
The shadow
These
looks like a pyramid down there.
some type of ancient, 5-sided pyramids that we can confirm that what we're seeing here is the shadow is hidden in this one, but in this one now the shadow is revealed and we see angular consistency. These little 4 dots, for an example. Now you can see those 4 dots up close, and those 3 nodes here are here. So it's very interesting consistency that what we're seeing is possibly an ancient city. Now, there's more to it than that. It's not just the objects, it's the placement of the objects. There's actually quite a bit of geometry that matches up, which we're not going to get into in this lesson. I'm just going to give you a very straightforward approach to showing you there's something that's been going on the surface of Mars. So again, when we look at these structures, this side where the sun, if I'm the sun, this little red dot, I'm now shining on these structures, making a shadow that's coming here.
Yeah.
Well, these, now I'm the sun, are right over these structures, clearly showing these once shadowed areas. So in relation to the face, these in fact do still merit further study. And there's that little dolphin we saw a minute ago.
Yeah.
Now,
it's weird.
What's really interesting is that not only are these all in relation to each other, but they seem to have been placed in a certain area, which I'm going to get back to in a moment. If we dive into just the face for a moment, there's never been any type of actual analysis that says, no, this is a face no matter what angle you look at it from. But actually there has. A gentleman by the name of Dr. Mark Carlotto, who is an imaging specialist, released quite a bit of data in showing that no matter how you look at the 3D imprint of the face, no matter what sun angle you're looking at the face, it's still a face. And pretty much every test that you can run that would show some signs of artificiality, the face passes with, hands down. Now, there were other tests that Dr. Mark Carlotto did that were ingenious in bringing out the data to confirm that the face and surrounding structures are definitely artificial. What we're seeing here is a fractal analysis of the face in 2 different frames. Here's the face where the angle of the sun, again, if I'm the sun, I'm creating a shadow on the face. There's the shadow. And in this one, the sun is probably right above the face. As you can see, there is no shadow. 2 separate frames of the face. When Dr. Mark Collado runs a fractal analysis on these two frames, the fractal analysis shows that the face, all of these little highlighted hits, those are a probability of much higher chance to be artificial. Now, he used these same algorithms on Russian satellite telemetry, views over Russia, and using these same fractal analysis, he was able to identify tanks or troops hidden under some tarps or shrubs. So that same type of aggressive data being run on the surface of Mars, those same algorithms show that the face and surrounding structures come out to be a 98% chance of probability to be artificial. NASA never did any of that type of study publicly. But again, other tier-level review scientists that might not work at NASA have done the research. And this is why it's important to be abreast of this information. Here again is the analysis of the Russian satellite telemetry, where you can see what appear to be tanks and other artificial objects that, when again run under fractal analysis, are clearly identified as artificial, just like the face was. So we really have to take that into account, that a lot of the things that we get on the surface from our space agencies might just be the foot into these topics, the foot crossing into the door, if you will. But you really need to then take the leap yourself and look at some of the data that they're retrieving from these missions, especially on the surface of Mars. As you're going to see in Lesson 3, the Mars-Earth Connection, coming next week, the data that we've been collecting on Mars, I mean, they should be holding press conferences saying, there's life on Mars, it's confirmed. But NASA doesn't work like that. However, you can freely review all of the data that shows that all the signs are pointing to life is not only prevalent on Mars, but still exists
today. So what do you think about that? That's a lot of info to kind of throw at you real hard, right?
Yeah, but it's like I've heard about it a lot, like that Mars had water, like there was civilization down there.
Frozen. Well, that's the whole fucking story of Total Recall, which is still my favorite movie. I love Arnold in that movie. I do, and I think it's a great movie where they talk about that. Where, you know, you've seen Total Recall, yes?
Of course.
Okay, best movie. But where it's like, oh, blue sky on Mars, never seen that before, blah 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 blah. But like in this video here, he talks about just color correct, and yeah, you can see a goddamn blue sky on Mars. And then also like everything seems to kind of match out to where it's like, huh. And I'm sorry to lead you in that direction, but you're gonna know what my next video coming up is about. But like, are they really there? Like, what the fuck? But no, honestly, the images that they released to the people show vegetation. That one image still almost looks like they were just like took a really close picture of grass on the ground. Because you've seen that before, where it's like little grass here. It's a little small grassy area that's in like a dirt pile or something. Like, you've seen that. Like, I know you have.
Yeah, no, yeah, oh, yeah. I gotta repeat myself a lot. I think
you do. You need to speak up.
Yeah,
you gotta speak up, or put your mic closer to your mouth. I mean, one
dude,
of
I can't put it closer to my mouth.
Put it inside your mouth so that you're sucking on the foam or the styrofoam before you go on. Yeah, there you go, dude. But no, like I like this guy because this guy is such a hardcore believer of the story that's being told that he's just going based on their information that they provided, and it's like, oh, but like look at this. You guys gave us these images and you're lying to us because like look at these things. Look at the things you're providing, and it looks like it completely fucks your story that you've told us. But this guy's such a believer in the ego and of what, like, NASA's telling you the truth. It's like, they're not. They're not. And all the books that we've read from birth to now, they're not all telling you the truth. It's true. It's all bullshit, man. It's just the thing that you'll see once we get to that next video. I'm curious to see where your threat level is. But yeah. So anything else before we start
Nope.
reading? I guess.
Nope.
No. All right. Let's read it up then. So the one of the things which I think was in his book, right? Didn't he talk about life on Mars not being real?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he said, has NASA covered up proof of life on Mars on the red planet alert level 2? So he's a firm believer of NASA too. So this here, even though we just watched a video showing where there's literally frozen lakes and literally vegetation on the whole planet that they tell us about, but I will read top bottom, you read right, yeah? Or, I'm sorry, I'll read left bottom and then you read right.
You're gonna be top, bottom, and then left. So we're gonna go
I'm going to go left,
left,
then
right.
bottom. So I'm going to go left, then right, then I'll read the final, yeah?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay,
Sounds like
cool.
a plan.
So have they found life on Mars? No! Definitive life has not been found on Mars. But in September 2025, NASA announced that the Perseverance rover found a rock, Shiyava Falls, with the most compelling signs of past microscopic life to date. It contains organic matter and features that, on Earth, suggest ancient microbial life, though non biological explanations are still possible. Well, and let me stop right there first. Like, the thing that's annoying whenever you hear about these, well, we're looking for life, but there's no life because our species can't live there. And it's like, motherfucker, like, what about things that can adapt and all? Like, there's things that live in nuclear waste piles, right? There's bacteria and things that live in nuclear waste piles. That is life. Even though you and I couldn't live maybe potentially in a nuclear waste pile, doesn't mean that other things can't live there. So the whole thing that annoys me the most about all this space exploration and thinking about, well, we'll go to some planet that doesn't support life, but we'll fucking, what do they call it? What do they do? The not genophage. I'm thinking of Mass Effect video games. But what is it? You geoengineer. What's the other thing? What's the other phrase? Where you make it
I don't
accessible
know.
to the population now.
Uh, I don't know. I don't know.
I'll look it up. I'll look up the actual phrase.
Yeah, I don't know how
Once you're
to actually
reading, I'll
say.
look it up and I'll actually bring it up. Because yeah, there's not geoengineering. Fuck. Fuck. All right, my brain's fucked. All right, we'll find it in a second. All right, so the discovery, the Chiyava Falls rock features leopard spots, iron phosphate minerals, and veins filled with material that could indicate past biological activity, according to results published in Nature in September 2025. Significance. While not a definitive smoking gun, this is considered the closest scientists have come to finding proof of ancient life. Besides the face, besides the pyramids, besides the vegetation, besides the frozen water. Okay, sorry, I just wanted wanted to throw that in there. Um, Context: the rock is in an ancient, dried up riverbed within the Jezero crater. Next steps: the findings require further study and analysis to confirm whether the signs are truly biological or the result of unusual chemical processes. Of course, the search for life continues with hopes that future missions, yeah, give us more money, or a sample return mission will provide a conclusive answer. Yay. That's all you know on the right.
Have they? No, I was just saying. Have they found water on Mars? Yes, significant evidence confirms water exists on Mars, primarily as ice, which with recent findings suggesting vast amounts of liquid water deep underground. In 2024, data from NASA's InSight lander indicated a reservoir of liquid water hidden 11.5 to 20 kilometers, 7 to 13 miles beneath the surface, enough to cover the entire planet. Key details about water on Mars: deep liquid water. The 2024 discovery suggests a colossal ocean trapped in fractured rock layers through it is likely too deep to access for future missions. Surface ice. Water ice has long been confirmed as a polar caps and just
Hmm.
below the surface in other regions. Ocean water. Evidence from rovers like Perseverance shows that large scale liquid water once existed on the surface, forming rivers and lakes billions of years ago. Temporary flows, seasonal dark streaks, or recurring slope linings on slopes are suspected to be caused by briny, salty water flowing temporarily. While abundant, this water is mostly locked in ice or exists as deeply buried salt or mineral-bound water rather than lakes or rivers. I was going to ask you, now that
Yeah.
we're talking about Mars and
Yeah.
everything, do you remember this movie? I can't remember the name right now, but I think, was it Ice Cube that was in it? And it was like in Mars? Let me look it up.
I think you're right. Let's see. Was it Ice
I'm
Cube?
like, I think it was Ice Cube.
I think it's Mission to
Ice,
Mars.
it's called Ghost on Mars. Ghost of Mars. It is
Ghost of
Ice Cube.
Mars. Yeah. Yeah, that's better.
Oh my god. Where
Yeah,
did this
that
movie
was
go? Interesting.
actually not a bad movie. And then there's another one, Mission to Mars, that's actually pretty good too. No, there's
2000,
been some great sci-fi movies just to keep everyone, sleeping.
2001. Damn.
A long time ago.
Yep.
Did you finish the rest of it? You did, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good.
I was just
So,
saying. And, oh, Jason Statham was in this movie
of
too as well.
course.
He's
Dude,
he's
he's been in so many fucking movies. Like, if you look up
it's
his
unbelievable.
it really is. Like, why were you in this? You have millions of dollars, brother. You have no reason to be in these fucking movies. Like,
He's like the guy, and he's only 58
yeah,
years old.
yeah.
God
They
damn.
still put him with his shirt off in different movies, which is funny.
No, I know, but I mean, it's like it's unbelievable how many movies he's been in. He's relatively young.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, all these other actors are in their late 60s and they've been in just as many movies. But I still think, I don't know, maybe Jason Statham is having a Nicolas Cage moment where he needs more castles and he just needs to be in movies. I think that's probably the case.
He needs more castles.
Why not? Why not? I need more castles myself. Uh, um, so have they found vegetation on Mars? No. Scientists have not found any vegetation or plants on Mars, even though we just watched a video where the guy clearly, after spending like 20 minutes, found them. But okay. The Martian surface is a cold, dry, and radioactive desert, while NASA rovers have discovered organic matter and evidence of ancient water. No signs of current life, let alone plants, have been discovered. Environmental barriers. The surface has very low atmospheric pressure, no ozone layer, extreme cold, and toxic soil full of perchlorates, sure, making it impossible for earth plants. Key phrase. Earth plants to survive without protection. Past life search. NASA's Perseverance rover recently found promising organic carbon rich samples, but these are chemical signatures that could indicate ancient microscopic life, not current vegetation. So just slow your roll. Experimental growth. Researchers have successfully grown plants on Earth using simulated Martian soil. But this requires significant added nutrients and decontamination of the soil. So that whole fucking sentence there, that whole phrase, just negate that from your brain. That's a fucking lie. Because how could they Did they really grab enough Martian soil and send it back on ships? Did you see that in the news that they sent back a ship that was full of Martian soil and they were going to start planting shit? No, it's all fucking bullshit. They fucking lie to
Yeah,
us
of
like
course it
crazy.
is.
Dude, like, come on. There's no way. Like, it's such a fucking lie. Every goddamn time. They lie to us about everything. Current efforts are focused on finding evidence of ancient microscopic. Of course, it has to be microscopic. Fossilized life, not plants. So they're not even looking for plants.
Mm-mm.
They're just looking for dead things or like little bacteria, which is I want to say. Do you remember the movie Life?
Mm.
It
Yeah, let me
was
look it up.
the guy, like, even though he was in that gay Brokeback Mountain movie. Um, just
Is it a
fucking
horror sci-fi movie?
yeah.
No, I've never seen this movie.
Dude, go watch it. It's actually pretty good. What it's about is I'm pretty sure they go to Mars. Does it say they go to Mars?
Tim says yes,
Mm-hmm. So they go to Mars and they find this little like
because there's a Martian predator that they need to
yeah,
keep away
yeah,
from
yeah, yeah,
the Earth.
yeah, yeah. So what happens is in the movie
Oh,
is
Ryan Reynolds is here.
Ryan Reynolds is in it, and what's
Oh,
his
I
up?
like this guy, the Haruyuka Sanada. That guy.
Oh yeah,
He's a cool guy.
that guy is
Yeah.
actually a really good actor too. Who's the
Mhm.
other guy? What's the other guy? Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal. Fuck.
Jake
That was the person I
Gyllenhaal.
was waiting for you to announce. You don't like Jake Gyllenhaal as much as I do, apparently. But he was the guy
Oh, it's
in the
Ryan.
Brokeback Mountain.
I like
I
Ryan
know I
Reynolds.
like Ryan
It's funny
Reynolds
that you just
too
reminded from that movie. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that
because
one.
he was he's like the main character in the movie. So when you watch, you'd be like, okay. So that's why.
No, I stay away from that movie.
I've never seen Brokeback Mountain, if that's what you're mentioning. So I have never seen. I will not see that movie because I don't need to see two gay cowboys. I really don't. Like that's like it's cool. I'm sure it was a good movie and he got a bunch of awards, but like him and Heath Ledger was the Joker, and Jake Gyllenhaal was the kid whose father was a scientist in the day after tomorrow. So that's where I'm coming from. Okay, so but it is a good movie where they pick up some like bacteria and it grows into a thing and then it ends up fucking them. But no, really really interesting movie. It's all fake, guys. They're all fake movies, but like that's the thing that's interesting. Like they talk about microscopic bacteria and shit. It's like, well, why? When they supposedly went to the moon, they were told, there's video or sound where they're like, we're being watched, and it's like, oh, well, that's a fucking problem. So I'm sure there's bigger things on Mars if they're actually going to Mars. I don't think they are, and you'll see in the next video that they're probably not. But yeah, so as far as this guy, Johnny Lewis, talking about them having zero evidence of vegetation on Mars, and even Google AI saying, yeah, no, we ain't found shit, bro. That whole video we just watched literally debunks all of this. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It
All right.
does.
Yeah, it's like like this is all fake, and this is all fake news, guys. this is literally all fake news. They ain't shit. So yeah, any questions before we go to the next slide?
No, go for it.
Okay. So this here, I'm gonna have you read the left because you like reading about who funds these things, and then I'll read the right.
All right, sounds good. Who funds NASA? NASA is primarily funded by the United States federal government through annual
Appropriations bills.
appropriations bills passed by Congress and signed by the president as a federal agency. Its budget is determined through the legislative process with funding specifically allocated for projects, research, and operations, such as the FY 2026 budget cycle.
Fiscal
Key
year
details regarding
2026.
NASA. Funding. Congress action. Congress determines the final legally binding budget, which can differ from the president's initial budget request. Budget
Yeah, so if
process.
they want more, they can get it from Congress, just as an
Of course.
FYI.
Budget process. The Office of Management and Budget, OMB, and Congress manage the appropriation process for FY 2026 legislation. Was signed to found the agency, notes the Planetary Society. Components. Funds are allocated to NASA via the Commerce, Justice, Science, and Related Agency, CJS bill. Source
It
of
sounds
funds.
more official when you make it 3 letters, don't you know?
Of course. Source of funds. Taxpayers found NASA through federal taxes.
Yay!
Of course.
Exciting.
Alternative supplemental funding. NASA may also receive funds through specialized partnerships, grants, or collaborative research efforts.
Yeah. So that means that they're going to get even more money from all these other NGOs and different groups. How much does NASA spend on Mars? And it's actually comical that supposedly this year we're thinking about it. So for fiscal year 2026, so this is this year, the White House has proposed over $1 billion.
Write it up. Write it up.
Over $1 billion.
Starts with the B.
Dude. In new investments for Mars-focused programs. This includes $350 million to accelerate Mars technologies, which means what to us? That sounds like just bullshit. They take 350 off the top and put it in a bank. $200 million for commercial payload deliveries. That is specifically sent directly to Elon Musk because of SpaceX. So $200 million goes directly to them because they're going to be the payload deliveries. $200 million for human class lander descendant technologies, which doesn't make any sense in my brain. But does that mean they're actually going to give $200 million? So they're going to give less money to the people that go there and more money to accelerate Mars technologies. Okay. And then $120 million for robotic missions. All right. So that means more rovers they're going to drop on the planet. Key details regarding NASA's Mars funding in 2026. Total investment over $1 billion is proposed for new specific Mars-focused initiatives. So has to be focused on Mars because we'll give you money towards it. Key projects: $200 million for commercial deliveries, $350 million for technology development. This is kind of what we read up there. $200 million for human lander demos. Demos. Get the fuck out of here, Eddie. Get your bullshit. Like, we'll make a shitty model, and then we'll drop it in some random like here on Earth. Like, we'll just make like a box. We'll make like you remember making those dioramas in school?
Yep.
We'll make one. We'll maybe get like $1 million from it or something. Because human lander demos, and we can literally. I'll have you hold it on a string, and I'll have you just slowly drop it into place, and I'll say, boom, we made it. We're on Mars. And they'll be like, all right, guys, here you go. Here's $20 million. Thanks, bro. Like, that's what that is. It's demos. Get the fuck out of here. Unbelievable.
And just be like, yeah, 20 million is not going to cut it. We need a little
Like,
bit more.
I saw you guys are getting a lot more for this, and you're not going to be able to do it without our string on our lander. So we're gonna need $100 million. Okay, good. Oh, $80 million for communication relays. That is a joke in itself. $50 million for specialized spacesuits. Dude, let's go hit up a fashion designer. these are in style too. And we'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Here's 30 million. Be like, no, 50, 50.
We
Get it?
slap like a high end brand with it, so it's like,
Dude, it has to be Abercrombie, right? Or are they not in fashion anymore?
whoa, no, that's oh my god, man, you sounded
I'm
old just
still
for that.
the last time I bought clothes, like Abercrombie was still like important. So they're not important anymore, is what you're telling me.
No, they went through a lot of cancellation and
Oh well,
everything,
dude,
and
what's weird is every time I go in there, there'd always be some like young girl naked up on the like pictures and shit. And I'm pretty sure that they had misdealings with all that. They were probably Epstein
No, they
fans.
got canceled for body shaming.
Body. Oh, that's right. I forgot. You can't tell people that are overweight they're overweight anymore.
Nope.
You have to tell them they're you have to tell them they're in fashion. Be like, oh, so you weigh more than you probably should, but okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you though that no fat shaming, no fat shaming, dude. Which is funny too because I think within the past 2 years, a lot of those body positive people have actually died because of their weight. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, I guess that's the case. Uh and $120 million for robotic missions. Strategic shift. The budget focuses on accelerating human exploration, potentially reducing funding for initiatives like the Mars sample return mission. Wait. I almost want to look that up real quick because
look it
there's
up, G.
well, you look it up because it'll fuck up our video if I look it up. Look up the
Okay.
Mars sample return mission because maybe they did bring back a couple pots full of Mars dirt supposedly.
Sample return mission.
Yeah, Mars sample return mission.
Why is Google AI not telling me nothing?
Yeah, because it never happened. It's not real.
It's okay. It says the Mars Sample Return (MSR) mission, a decades-long effort by NASA and the European Space Agency (ESA) to bring Martian rocks to Earth, has officially been canceled in the early 2026.
So what are
Despite
they
the
growing on the Mars dirt then? They're not growing
Despite
anything on the
hold
Mars dirt.
on. Let me continue. Despite the
Unbelievable.
Perseverance rover having already collected and sealed 33 of its 43 sample tubes in Jezero crater, the U.S. Congress withdrew fundings for the program due to unsustainable costs, which
Oh
had
my
ballooned to an
god.
estimated 11 billion.
What? So they say it's going to cost $11 billion to bring all these samples here, but they took all these samples. So what are you doing with this
No,
rover
no,
on the
no, no,
fuck?
no. They had invested 11 billion.
Oh my god.
That's what they were gonna. They
So they
wanted.
already spent it?
They approved it, yes, but then it just like the cost just.
Got even
It said that
more than
it
$11
yes.
billion dollars.
So it went. It was like it pretty much like it got so wild that they're like, fuck no, like this is too much.
So
Yeah.
let me paint a little picture here of that $11 billion, right? So they're claiming. So just because I know this is a big grandiose thing, right? We're expecting to leave off of our blue ball here. We shot a rocket, right? It went all the way to Mars. Okay. After it landed, or after it got to Mars, it ejected a little rover. Okay. This little rover landed finally on the planet. Very exciting for everybody. Then, after they got the lander down there, it goes and scoops up dirt. Okay. Puts it in a sealed little tube. Whoop, seals it, puts it somewhere on itself, apparently, or stacks multiple tubes that are sealed on top of each other while it's driving around the planet Mars. I'm sorry, you can't see my air quotes. But while it's doing this, it then needs to get to a lander again to deposit all of these dirt samples, right? And then the lander needs to shoot back off into space, attach to a ship that's not there, but will attach to a ship that's there, and then fly its ass back to Earth and land, right? That's like what needs to be done if you want this to be real. Right? No sound from Eddie. So
I said yes, pretty much.
okay.
Sorry.
So $11 billion was not enough to do that, so they just scrubbed the whole thing. The joke of the whole thing, though, is that we just fucking read that they tried to actually grow shit in the Mars dirt that they never received for $11 billion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that Google AI has fucked their own story. Like, it's
Pretty much.
not even telling us the truth. It's just lying to us on the face. Oh my god. That's honestly, take a look. I will recommend that anybody, if you've never seen Bubbles in Space, I recommend you look up Bubbles in Space because it will blow your fucking mind. And then also look up, there's another video out there that's pretty good where it talks about astronauts that have been into space and they have conflicting stories. Like some of them are like, there's no stars. It's just the emptiness, blackness of space. And then you talk to another guy that's been supposedly on a mission into space that says, "Oh my God, there's stars here, there's stars there." It's like, okay, so get your story straight if you're gonna lie to the people. So this funding is distinct from historical costs such as 2.7 billion spent on the Perseverance rover. So Eddie just mentioned 11 billion on getting dirt back to Earth. They spent 2.7 billion on the
And
rover.
they wanted more.
Of course.
Let's
That's
not
why
leave-
they
let's
said
not leave
we
that
ain't
part
doing
out.
it. Exactly. They wanted
more. They're like, that's fucking crazy. No, it's enough. I'm
Unfucking-believable.
actually surprised they kept it.
I'm a little surprised they did too, but it probably wasn't good for that fiscal year, Eddie. That's why the budget said no. People aren't paying attention to this. So if people start paying attention to this, then maybe then we can get more money. Which is also funny too. Like you want to look at going to Mars, going to the moon, all these space missions. It seems like every 4 years or every other 4 years or whatever the case, like there's a new president saying, "Hey, we're going here. All right, we're gonna spend billions," and everyone's like, "Yeah, go to the moon." And it's like they never go.
Like, and they just spend like $10 billion.
But they took the money. It was in the budget. It's just they never went, and there was never anything to watch. It's like unbelievable. I will recommend, especially since we're on the topic of Mars here, if nobody has seen the movie Capricorn 1 from, I think it's the 70s, but Capricorn 1 has O.J. Simpson in it. It has, what's his name?
Question for you, James.
Yeah.
Did the glove fit?
Dude, the glove did not fit because it was actually riddled with blood on it, so it actually reduced the size of it. He also had a swollen hand as well as a glove on top of his hand. So no, you are correct. It did not fit. You know the funniest thing about that is like you got away with murder, bro. Why would you go steal your shit? Like you went to prison anyway. Like you got away with fucking murder. And you go and steal your memorabilia? Get the fuck out. What are you, dumb? So therein lies the whole question I have. And it was funny actually too, because after I watched Capricorn 1 with the movie in there, or with like what it is, because Capricorn 1 is they fake a mission to Mars. Okay. So just as an FYI, that's what happened. And when you watch it, you're like, oh shit, so they faked the moon too, because this is all they needed to do. But when you actually watch it, it is really good. But after I got done watching it, I'm like, oh shit, what was the last O.J. Simpson movie you did? And it's like, oh, Naked Gun. Oh, okay, so they let him live for 20 years. So it wasn't like this movie was the movie that like nuked his career. No, there's more to it. But who knows what he was gonna say against Hollywood? If you speak up against Hollywood, they're probably gonna kill you or put you in something. And maybe that's
They're
why
gonna come after you.
well, maybe that's why he stole all his, and air quotes up, you can't see it. Maybe that's why he stole all of his memorabilia back later, because he was going to talk out against Hollywood because they kind of fucked him anyway. And who knows? Maybe that's why he killed his wife and lover of the wife. We don't know. We don't fucking know.
We don't know. Yeah, nobody knows.
We'll never know what the fuck is going on. That's the joke of being here. And then we watch all these things, and it's like we'll never know. We'll never know. All right. So any other questions you got before we go into the next thing, which I think is the last video?
No.
Okay. Yeah, it is. Okay, good. So I'm going to read this because this is part of an excellent documentary. But he doesn't read this when I start this off. So your mind is infected with cartoons, okay? And if you look, you'll see all the diseases here, because that's the joke of the other thing too. They show us all these diseases that are out there. They're fucking computer models, guys. They're not real. They're not actual images of these bacteria or anything. It's literally a fucking computer model. And then as you go further down, it's like, oh yeah, these are our Earth. It's like, that's a fucking computer model too, because you can see the different sizes of the continents that you know of, right? Don't change in size based on their years, right? Like Africa doesn't get bigger in 2019 than it did in like 2001, as far as you know.
Who knows? I don't know. I don't think so.
We really don't know, but per the Google Maps, like these are the images. So if you look at the bottom 8 images here, these are the images released by NASA of our blue marble, okay? And as you look through them, you will see larger images of these continents that shouldn't be. Like, look at, so the top one you can't really tell, but you can tell the second one is clearly America, right? Mexico, Brazil, and South America, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now look at the bottom right, but the second to the right on the bottom. That's also America. Look how big that is.
My man, we just saw the camera quality got better. Okay, that's why.
Okay. So then look at the bottom right one. Then that's South America. That's actually smaller than the other one. So did camera get worse?
It's a different lens. Okay, they use a different.
They use a different. Okay, all right. I'll believe you on that. But no. So if you go look up the blue marble, it's never been an actual picture, guys. So like, we're being fucking lied to. There's other shit going on. Amazing. So the good news is that I can play a video while I get myself another beverage. Would you have any questions before we start this? You're going to like this one, though. You are.
No, go for it, man.
Okay. You're a 7.7, right?
Yep.
It's about to change. All right, cool. Here we go.
Oh, stop.
It is. Watch this.
Is nonsense. Look at this. A nice welcome image of the real world. Maybe you remember from when you were a child playing with a remote control car.
I used to love those days.
And with a powerful one, you might end up steering the car all the way in the distance to the very end of the road. So my question is, do you really think that there is some person with a PhD in mechanical, intergalactic, theoretical, metaphysical engineering in Houston, Texas, playing with a remote control car on a red rock
for real
50 million miles away? To put that in perspective, to cross the Atlantic Ocean That's about 3,000 miles.
Dude, for real.
50 million miles. Can you see the ridiculousness of it all? That is one powerful remote, isn't it? 50 million miles away. My son commented that sometimes the Wi-Fi doesn't even reach his bedroom. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi boosters on asteroids every few million miles. And I mean, we're spinning and flying at insane speeds all the time. It must be a nightmare to keep the remote facing the right direction.
Last week, NASA, the biggest black-budget black hole in existence, sucking in $52 million of American taxpayer money every single day, just spent $2.3 billion of your dollars to allegedly land a remote control car on Mars for the 5th time.
How excited all
Yes,
those guys are.
the multi-billion dollar
Fake
charade
CGI.
of landing on Mars has been happening since 1976, and thanks to the gullible, unquestioning masses enthralled and duped by these ridiculous Hollywood performances, they will most likely continue for decades to come. To begin with, the tiny reddish circular light in the sky known as Mars is not a spherical terra firma world millions of miles away capable of landing a rover on. All of the so-called planets were known to the ancients as wandering stars, because they differ from the fixed stars in their relative motions only. To them, stars were not spherical worlds millions of miles away, or suns trillions of miles away, as we are brainwashed to believe they are today. Stars were and are simply luminaries, immaterial lights in the sky, several thousand, not millions, of miles away, that revolve over and around the Earth. The Masonic magicians at NASA and the other world space agencies, using lying actor-nauts and Hollywood tricks like green screens, wires, harnesses, and endless amounts of CGI images, through pseudoscience books and programs, mass media and public education, universities and government propaganda, have systematically indoctrinated the entire world into believing what is nothing but an elaborate piece of science fiction. As you can clearly see for yourself with a bit of research, a telescope or high-zoom camera, and an open, discerning mind actually honestly admitting to yourself
Looks like a
what
light
is
through
and what
water.
isn't a CGI, computer-generated image, it is obvious that the light in the sky known as Mars is not some science fiction desert planet millions of miles away. The CGI images NASA shows of a spherical world are clearly and admittedly not photographs, and look nothing like Mars when seen through a telescope. Meanwhile, the actual photographs NASA claims are coming from this completely other world look exactly like they are coming from Devon Island, Canada, with a red tint added in post-processing.
Yep.
There is nothing being shown in NASA's
gotta love those
photographs
filters.
of Mars
Dude, I'm
that
telling
cannot easily be faked on Earth.
Yeah.
And given the lack of skepticism or scrutiny from the gullible masses, they barely have to fake any evidence too.
Yep.
Just give them a computer screen of a CGI parachute with a CGI rover landing on a CGI Mars and film a bunch of compartmentalized NASA 20-something employees straight out of space camp getting giddy and high-fiving each other. And that is literally all it takes.
Dude, for real.
The unquestioning masses now thoroughly believe NASA has landed their 5th remote control car tens of millions of miles away and are receiving photographs from it through the internet. Yes, that's right. How do you think NASA sends and receives all data to and from this remote control car? They apparently have internet technology so strong and fast that they can operate a remote control vehicle from tens of millions of miles away. Do we, the public, have any independent evidence whatsoever that such technology actually exists? Of course not, and it isn't necessary. Again, because the science fiction indoctrinated masses are so bedazzled by their pseudoscientific priests at NASA that they don't require things like proof or evidence.
Nothing flies or floats or whatever at 6.66 miles.
That's something you got to pay
per
attention
second.
to.
All talk
Proof we just
of
landed on
space
Mars.
is nonsense, trickery, theory, cartoons, propaganda. It's hard to put into words what's actually going on. And I know it's hard to accept because all of your life you've believed what you've been told from when you were a child.
Yep.
Next to children's books and cartoons and toys about space and movies, etc.
Yep.
Next to all that, this kind of rubbish is in the news all the time. Most people just don't pay attention to it.
Yeah, people don't give a shit.
When is the last time you've had an interesting conversation with a friend about the technicalities involved in NASA missions?
Right.
It doesn't happen. People don't care.
Right.
And rightly so. It's a kind of background propaganda. But I digress. It takes a bit of time to adjust, but if you digest this, think about it, do some research, trust your own senses instead of what some outer authority tells you, you will unequivocally agree with the fact I wanted to establish and demonstrate here, which was that so-called space agencies lie and deceive.
Yeah. They ain't telling us the truth, man.
I don't know.
It's weird, right? I know your ego's not going to get over it for a little while until we go to the moon landing one, I think. Once we go to the moon landing one, which, look, talk amongst yourselves while I count how far away we are from the moon landing, but Jesus. We are probably about 20 or so videos away from the moon landing. We did make it to our second page, though, of the contents, so we're doing pretty good there. But yeah, so when we get to the moon landing hoax, I'm gonna have some videos. You can be like,
He's like, I already have it prepared.
Yeah. I do. I like my brain
is,
dude. I am there. I am like so there, ready to go. But no, like I know it's hard to accept, but even that first video that we watched, how hard was it for him to kind of explain what he's seeing versus what they're telling, right? How many times did he mention the word Earth? Like, this is Earth, 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 Earth. And it's like, this guy is so far gone. Well, not maybe so far gone because he actually has shit that's kind of breaking his brain. But, like, he was so ingrained in the story that NASA went there. They spent billions of dollars to go there, and they dropped a fucking rover on there. But he even made mention. He's like, why isn't the rover going into the water and going into the foresty areas? It should be doing these things and sending images back. It's like, no, it's because it's not fucking real, bro. Like, it's because they're not actually there. It ain't happening, guys. So the face on Mars, I will say, is I don't know where the fuck they took those images, because that's the thing that still kind of boggles my mind. It's like, what images did they send out to the people? Because the rover images can clearly be faked by Devon Island. Like, it could literally be a robot driving around there taking pictures. That makes sense. But like the face on Mars and the pyramids and shit, is that another Terra that they actually took pictures of? Because that's the other thing too. Everyone has to kind of realize is that we're in our Earth Terra, but there's all these other Terras around us. Get past the who knows? Maybe they took pictures beyond the ice wall in Antarctica, because that would be easy for them to do. Like, you know what's happening, right? What the story tells us about our planet with spinning and shit. No?
Sorry, you couldn't hear me again? No, I don't know exactly.
Yeah, so we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, okay? Our planet is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. All right?
Yeah.
And our galaxy, from the explosion, and I actually think I got a good graphic that I'll put up so people can see it. Our galaxy is expanding also at like 1,000 miles per hour or something like that. But
their theory just gets more and more wild as time has gone on. And so, yeah, it began with the spinning Earth going 1,000 miles per hour, which is then circling around the sun at 67,000 miles per hour. which then they decided the sun wasn't a heliocentric model, but more of an acentric model, where they don't know where the center is, and we're just exploding out of a big bang. So the sun, we're spinning around the sun, and then the sun and us are spinning around the Milky Way galaxy, they say, at 500,000 miles per hour. And then the entire Milky Way galaxy, they say, is shooting off from the Big Bang at 670 million miles per hour, almost the speed of light. So there's at least 4 rip-raging, contradictory motions supposedly going at all times, yet you don't experience any of it, nor can you measure any of it using the stars.
But so we're getting further away from our sun every single day, right? Our system is expanding out to where shit's, further away every single day. But yet the fucking stars up top don't change. Like, it's literally on a cycle. So the stars up top, like, when Mars is coming in, there's astrologers that will tell you in the next 10 days where these stars are going to be. And guess what? In 10 days, they are there. But yet, if everything was expanding from the Big Bang, they would change. Like, the stars would change in the sky. That's just how it would work, because we'd have a different view.
I get your point, but I know that I always been against astrology. Like, it's like the stars are never in the same.
No, they are
position. No, they're not.
They are. Why are they not? Where do you see that they're not? You can have star charts from 1,000 years ago, supposedly, that'll tell you exactly where they are today.
Supposedly, you just said the correct word. Supposedly.
Well, you need to look up the Antikythera mechanism. Because the Antikythera mechanism back in
the stars
Greek
are
times knew exactly the star charts.
In the same position. They're never in the same. That's why I always hated horoscopes and everything, because the stars are never in the same position. So you can never say that somebody is similar to somebody, because the stars were never aligned the same whenever you were birthed. So you cannot all have similar characteristics basing yourself on that, because everything.
Okay, so I just Google searched, are stars in the same position over years? And you know what Google said?
Said yes?
It said stars appear to stay in the same position over a human lifespan, but they are actually moving at high speeds in orbits around the Milky Way. No, that motherfucker, but our whole lifetime is going to stay in the same position, supposedly. That you need to look more at the stars, son. And you need to look more into astrology, because apparently you don't know about astrology, because literally they go through cycles. Everything goes through cycles where it will return. Whereas, like, so imagine.
How do we know that? If it's
supposedly therein lies the big joke to the whole thing, is that we trust some of the shit that these fucks tell us, but we disregard other shit that these fucks tell us, because it's like, oh, well, this has been,
like I'm saying, like, it's not. It just said that it's too much for our lifespan to even get to know it. So how do we know that is actual factual?
We don't.
I
And then here's the other thing: how, when you read the Bible and all this shit, they lived until 800 and 900 years old. Who's to say that we don't live that long, unless they just poison us every day, which they do.
Exactly. How do we know that? Like, it's like
we could probably be living to I would say our average lifespan should be 400 to 500 years. I would say that that's a good lifespan for us to live. Not 100, well beyond 100. It's just that we're poisoned every day, and we're poisoned in the air, the water, and the food. And also all of our entertainment. So, like, all of this shit also fucks our brains. Where if you see somebody that was really famous and wealthy, but died at 100, it's like, oh, okay, so 100 is probably my go-to.
Yep.
It's like, it fucks your brain. It does. Because we put all these people in charge. That's it. Oh, but it's weird though, right? This whole thing is weird. I will say the whole Mars thing has got me kind of fucked in the brain because again, I'm a big sci-fi guy. Like I love it. I told Eddie to buy Mass Effect and play Mass Effect because I'm a huge sci-fi guy and I want to be like in space and going to these planets and doing all this. And then it's like to see these
You
kinds
want
of
to?
things.
Well, you just want to probably bang hot aliens. That's what you
Who
want to do.
doesn't want to bang hot alien babes, Eddie? Even Captain Janeway in Star Trek
Oh.
wants to bang hot alien babes, like, and she's a lesbian. So yeah, we all want to bang hot alien babes. But no, even beyond the banging nonsense, it's like. No, I would love to. I would love to. I would love to be a part of a fucking star system or part of like a ship that has to go and go see these planets and do this kind of stuff. As Star Trek was like huge for me. Well, especially later in life. But like Star Wars was huge for me growing up, and it's like to find out that we haven't even left this planet kind of bugs me. We're taking images from Devon Island and we're sending them back to the people saying that we went there, but I charged you billions of dollars to go there. It's like, whoa, 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 bro. No, you didn't. Like, give me that money back. That's the other joke of like when you look at the American deficit. It's like, motherfucker, how many years? Because the NASA has been around since the 60s, and I'm not even getting started on the black budgets, but just NASA alone with going to the moon and satellites and all this shit, and then to find out that they don't actually even shoot satellites off with a fucking rocket. They actually just put it in the air with a fucking balloon. It's like, bro, I'll give you $20 to go buy a big balloon and I'll fill it. I'll breathe into it if you want. Like, give me the $1 billion. Like, what the fuck are we doing? It really is unfortunate. This whole thing breaks my brain, and I feel like it probably shouldn't. Does.
Nope, it shouldn't.
Well, that's the joke because I'm still, and don't get me wrong, I'll be the first person to tell you that they're lying to you. But when it comes to a lot of this kind of stuff, it's like so that breaks everything. Yeah, I mean, let me see, because I know I got alien books. I've got a MUFON book because I wanted to be a MUFON investigator. You know what MUFON is? You ever heard of that?
No.
Okay, so let me read you from the book cover. It's the. Oh, it doesn't even say what MUFON stands for. That's stupid. But yeah, I got a field investigator book because I literally was going to do it, but then I found out that after, like, what happens with. If you're a MUFON investigator, nobody pays you. Like, it's all you. So like you'll go spend your money driving out to these places to go investigate a sighting or something, right? You'll go ask them all these questions, you'll submit it to MUFON and they'll say, "Thanks, great. We're going to run this in our article." They
It's for your
do.
collaboration.
And you make $0 for doing all that. So it's all fucking volunteer. So it's like, whatever. If I have one as soon as the $1 million clears my bank, I will just go ahead and join up with them. But no, otherwise I've got all these other books that are about all the different types of aliens that are out there, which I think probably are, but I'm still questioning, okay, so are they other planets? Do we teleport to these other planets? Because I'm pretty sure, like, you've seen, what's that movie? Stargate? You've seen Stargate?
No, I don't see this money in like sci-fi movies.
Dude, you need to step it up. So Stargate's great. Stargate, they go find, in some like hidden bunker, they find a Stargate, right? And the Stargate, what it is just a big like teleporter. So you just walk through the teleporter and go to different planets and that kind of shit. So I almost feel like that might actually be how we traverse through all the other terras on our Earth, I'll say. Yeah, I still don't trust it. Are you saying something?
No. I was just listening.
Yeah. Eddie's very skeptical about all this. He thinks that we went to Mars.
Well, okay. Let's.
Oh, yeah, let's bring it up
Like,
because
fuck
you
that.
went from a
Like, no,
7.7.
no.
So if you're a
But it's just like,
7.7, we went to Mars and we sent a rover out there and we did all this shit and sent
well, it's
images
just like,
back.
is there? If we say no, then we're contradicting ourselves because we say we don't know the type of technology that's out there and how the population is so far behind. So
Yeah.
us disagreeing with some technology that we don't know that exists,
Yeah.
it's pretty much contradicting a lot of what we said. So that's why I'm saying, like, no, like, we don't know. Like, they have put it out, like we have mentioned so many times before on movies. They
Yeah.
have teletransporters that can probably teletransport to like another country who
Yeah.
says that we cannot go to the moon just using that device, or to
Right.
Mars, or
Right.
you know what I mean. There's so many things that if we say, okay, no, this is all bullshit. And also too, if there's so many, like, if they were to film this on this specific areas on Earth, what makes you think that there's not going to be somebody passing by? And like, obviously it's got to be a big operation because it's
So
got to be like a film crew, all of this.
well, you
Especially
could
how
have just
people are.
some douchebag up with his phone.
No, not really. But I
I
mean,
mean, you could.
you could. But I'm just saying that there's so many crazy people out there that want to debunk all these theories. You think there's no
Yes.
fucking people
I
religiously camping on these
would
areas
think
after
that
this?
there's a handful of Jags sitting there on Devon Island going,
Exactly.
as
So
soon as
that
I see this little remote control car drive around, I'm going to go run out there. But that doesn't say that they have images of that crazy asshole and they just won't release it to the public.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
how crazy people are with this
Yes.
type of things that it's
Now,
yeah. You're telling me you're not gonna see or kind of catch one of these cars running around Devon, like even
well, Devon
it's
Island's like, have you ever seen where it is?
it's probably in the middle of nowhere. But I'm just saying, there's people so
Yeah, so
religious with this stuff that they don't give a fuck.
you'd think that people would find a way to make it
We
out
have that
there.
guy that films
Yeah.
himself almost freezing to death on all these places that are cold as fuck,
Well, he's a
and he
clown. He just needs to
and he
go to
does it.
Antarctica and get murdered by
Well, that's what I'm
those.
saying.
Yeah.
Like, he's
Well,
okay with it.
part of the issue, though, I agree 100% with you that there should be some random fuck going, "Hey, we're on Mars!" Like, you would think that there'd be some jagoff running by in all these images. But they do have the access to delete those images and then not send them back. And then also, the thing that you're forgetting about, though, is how much money was spent, right? So for $1 billion, do you think that you could fence off an area and then shoot people who are jumping over that fence for $1 billion?
Well, it's like yes,
Ah,
but
see,
also too, if
that's
it
what you're
goes
not
back, it
thinking
goes
about.
back to the same thing. If it was fenced and everything,
Yeah, but if
you
it's
would
fenced
assume by
off,
now
no. But if it's just a
everybody
straight
would have
up
seen it.
But if it's just a straight up government facility, how many people have actual footage of Area 51, brother? We just talked about that in like our
From the
first or
outside,
second
like I
video.
said, yes.
Yeah, from the
No,
fucking
no,
fence. They have
but
pictures
that's
of
what
the
I'm saying.
fence with all the
If there was
stop
a
signs.
fence, if there was a fence here,
Yeah.
there will also be
Why
pictures, and
don't
there will be a.
you go look up Google search? Because again, I don't want to break the video. Why don't you go Google search Devon Island red stop sign government facility? Google search that. You might actually see something. I'm kind of curious myself because I want to look it up myself, but I'm trusting you.
Okay, one second. Devon Island.
Because I guarantee you there's
Devon
government
what?
facilities.
What's it called? Devon what?
Devon Island
It was
government
Devon Island.
facility. Terraforming. I just thought of the word. Sorry, I'm a guy. I'm sorry, guys. Terraforming the planet. So if we were to terraform a planet to make us live there, that is what we need to do. We need to just wipe out anything that's there. So yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to bring that up because I forgot the fucking word.
It says that there is one
Oh
research
wait,
facility.
what'd you find?
It's a little no, but it's not even fenced off. It's just like a few like it's like legit very small.
What'd you find, buddy? Tell us. Tell us
It's not
all
like a
what you
big
found.
government facility. It says
That's
that
what
it
you're claiming.
is.
That's what Google
It's a
says.
research
But
station.
okay, all right, go ahead.
That's it. It just says that Devon Island is the world's largest uninhabited island in Canada
Mm-hmm.
territory. Hosts key research facilities primarily used by NASA and the SETI Mars Institute for Mars Analog Studies.
Wait,
The
what?
main
What?
sites
What? Hang
include.
on. Go back. Go back because this fucks your whole fucking rebuttal. Go
Yeah, no,
ahead.
it is. It does.
Yeah,
It
go
does.
ahead.
Well, there's no
Reread
point.
that whole thing
I
because
already read
SETI
it. Like
Mars, I heard that out
yeah.
loud.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
So that means that what? They're fucking lying about this shit. They wouldn't have something that actually has the word Mars in it on Devon Island in a restricted area that you cannot go to for research purposes if they didn't have it all set up for this bullshit. Like, right? That's the issue though. You just broke your ego. You know that, right?
Well,
Because
no, it's
your
okay.
brain told you that they're telling you the truth about NASA and Mars and all this.
No,
and
I'm
you
just
literally
saying
just
that
read something
there's
that
got to
said
be a
it's not
possibility.
real.
I'm just saying that there has to be a possibility of this stuff
No,
happening.
so here's
That's-
the other thing though that we don't realize as a general population is that I can almost guarantee you that because how many times have you seen like in Africa it's just all desert, right?
Yeah.
You don't think there's a fucking oasis in there that they just don't show us on Google Maps?
Probably.
You know, like these are the other things, and we don't know how much land is actually out there. They tell us how much land is out there, so they could just be on some random location. And how many? Even long time ago, I thought about it. It's like how many millions of islands are out there that we'd have no fucking idea are even out there, especially if they don't put it on our Google Maps. So if it's not on our Google Maps to look at these islands, they don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
So, therein lies. Oh, well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad I asked you to Google search that. I don't trust it. They didn't go to Mars, guys. They didn't. They had never been there. They're just charging us billions and billions and billions of dollars every single year to do nothing.
Yep.
That's actually a good video I think I saw too, which is NASA going nowhere for like a decade or something, or like 100 years. I think it was like 100 years, which is true. They so far from everything I've seen, they haven't gone anywhere. Like they never even left the planet. Unfucking believable, man. Ugh. But yeah, anything else you got before? I think this is the end.
Yep. No.
All right. So we do want to
thank you for watching.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been kind of an interesting one because
Yep.
it kind of throws like the Mars thing. Fucks
We had
my
a little
brain
rant.
we always have a rant. Come on now. Every episode, I don't think we've not had a rant. Like some of them go on a lot longer, but at least
I
with
thought this one was going to be a short one, and it didn't.
Well, part of it though was you trying to break the whole thing, like trying to go, "Oh no, we've been there." It's like, no, we haven't. We have not been there. That's not real.
Well, no, it was necessarily. It was not me. Just like that, I was just trying to say, like, hey, like, there's got to be some sort of technology because we have talked about it so many times.
I am with you 100%. But here's the issue, though, is that there's technology out there that's from the past like 20 plus years. I've heard of like age regression technology. I've heard of medbed technology to where you can heal anything, you can regrow limbs. I've heard all this amazing stuff. And they're like, one of the things that I remember hearing a long time ago in certain books was like every single human or most of the humans would actually do a 20 and back. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
You have?
Well, I think so. Here, what is it?
Why don't you tell me what you know of 20 and back, and then I'll fill in the blanks if
Well,
need
how
be.
about you just say it first? Why you gotta make it complicated, my man?
Well,
Just
you
say
said
it.
you knew what I was talking
I
about. That's why I
think I
wanted to
said
call you out.
I think that's what I said. I think I am. So it's
So
like, can
okay,
you say
so
what it is?
a 20 and back, because I'll fill in the blanks for Eddie then, because he doesn't know what I'm talking about. A 20 and back was you went for 20 years, lived on Mars, repopulated, worked the soil, did everything, and then they age regressed you 20 years back and put you back in your civilization where you're at. So like it was a time travel kind of thing. That's the 20 and back that I'm talking about. Is that what you were talking about?
No, I thought
Okay.
it was that
What
we
what
were
were you
just.
talking about?
I just thought it was more about technology that dured 20 years.
Okay, yeah. So the 20 and back was from what I just mentioned. Literally they would take you at like 14 or 15 or whatever, or even younger, and they would take you, send you over there. You'd work for 20 years on Mars and then come back, and they'd age regress you back to your age when you left here at the time that you left here, so that it would seem like nothing ever happened. Which, honestly,
Oh no, never mind. I think you have brought that up. Like
no,
in
I'm sure I might have brought that up to you before
yeah.
in the past. Yeah, which, if they have the technology to manipulate time, that makes sense, because then you get fucking, think about it, you get 20 years worth of slaves for free.
Mm-hmm.
And then you send them back and they
And
know nothing about
it's
it.
like if we see like Men in Black, you know, that they
Yeah,
can have a device to burn your memories, so that way
right.
you have.
And that was perfectly visible to us in the 90s, at the end of the 90s, right? Was it a 98 movie or something? It's like, if they have that technology to erase all your memories, it wouldn't surprise me. And honestly, to tell you the truth, the more and more that I kind of look into this kind of stuff, where there's a potential firmament around us, but there are warp zones to where we can warp out and go to these other different terras, like a Mars Terra and all these other terras. Who's to say that they aren't using us to send us forward in time, go to these different places, do all this kind of shit, and then send us back in time to where we don't know anything about it because we haven't lived it, because it's already outside of our timeline, right? And listening to how much more money these fucks are spending on our behalf on space research should be questioned real hard. Real hard. We need to stop them. We need to say, okay, show me the footage of it leaving. Because here's the other thing that's funny too, right? So, like, even with the Mars land or with the moon landing and shit, it's like they have camera angles that shouldn't be like real. Like, who's on the planet recording this lander going up and down? Like, did you drop a camera first and then you landed? Is that what happened? Like, that's not real. Like, it's all bullshit, guys. It's all fucking movie set. And if they want to actually show us, oh, well, we dropped Steve, so Steve actually was the first person to land on the moon because he had to hang onto the camera while he was down there. It's like, oh, okay. So what's his face is not the first person to land on the moon? All right, that makes sense. But they don't tell us that. They say, hey, we have footage of this thing dropping down. Here you go. And everyone goes, oh, no, it's crazy. The thing that is great, which I'm glad I had in that video, was it's kind of a background propaganda. Because honestly, besides, and I'm going to show a clip of it just because it always stays in my brain. India landing on the moon in 2023. You saw that. I showed it to you.
We can see the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, who is here to encourage us, and he is critically looking at the visuals.
जी हाँ, आप अपनी स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं कि हम लैंडर मॉड्यूल
People are applauding. Let us all wait to hear from the Secretary Department of Space and Chairman ISRO, Shri S. Somnath.
लैंडर मॉड्यूल पूरी तरह से सेफली और सॉफ्टली चंद्रमा के सतह पे लैंड हो चुका।
How realistic was that?
No comments.
Dude, right? It was the fakest fucking thing ever. It was worse. It was worse than games that came out in like 2007.
Well, we can't compare Bollywood to Hollywood, okay?
You should be able to though, because the fucking people in Bollywood are normally the people that made the shit in Hollywood. So that's a joke. It's just that they left and went back to India after Silicon Valley went down. But no, it's funny because like you'll play a video game like Mass Effect. You play a video game like Mass Effect, you'll see a fucking ship land on a planet and it's like, oh, this looks epic. This looks great. And then you'll watch real human beings do it and you're like, this is worse than the video game that I played. It's like, oh, well, that's a fucking problem. That shouldn't even be. It's so fucking weird, man. It is so fucking weird. Oh, so what? You went from a 7.7. I know you have to jump a little bit, brother.
We're gonna go to 7.8. It's not
7.8? Come on,
yeah.
Mars.
Yeah, no, well,
we're going to Mars, son.
Everything is out there with these topics. This is like all these recent topics. It's like something that if you look into a little bit of conspiracy theories, you have somewhat knowledge of it.
You know what? Unfortunately, the truth is, you jump too high too fast with the other ones.
Yep.
That now you need to like literally pull back because this Mars thing should jump you at least to like an 8. Like you should be an 8 at least with this. From a 7.7, how much they've lied about this. Like you read how much they lied about this. They even lied about the fucking supposedly showing life on Mars.
It's a recurrent thing. Like you got to realize, like
so
the government lies to us.
Everything, brother. Come on.
Yeah. So what else is new?
I mean, they do lie to us about everything. I will say one thing before we go though. I like your curled mustache.
Oh yeah, I love it.
I mean, I honestly think that they did a good job with your curled mustache.
So Mexican.
Yeah, dude. They gave me red hair, which apparently is American. But it's okay.
No, if you're white, you gotta be ginger.
You gotta be ginger. It's the only way. It's the only way you gotta be Irish. Dude, speaking of which, you've heard. Wait, I don't think we're gonna talk about that, right? You have heard about the ginger giants, right?
No.
You've never heard of the ginger giants?
No, we should probably leave that for another.
No, we're not gonna touch it. I just looked at. There's no giants or anything in here. That should be a project that you have for yourself. That's a self project for Eddie and all listening. Take a look. See about the ginger giants, because you will find giants with red hair in the Amazon, in I think Iraq too, and a bunch of other places around the supposed world. That this is the Smithsonian, which is the big museum. They've actually taken those big bones and they've hid it from everybody. So just as an FYI, the giants that were here before that we've heard about in the 1800s are no longer visible for us. And I guess that's the story of it all, is whatever's not visible for us, we don't know nothing about. It's not real.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we went to Mars. It's so fucking bullshit, guys. It's not real. All right. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I could sit here and just bitch about NASA lying to us and stealing our money, but I think we have to end it. So thank you all again. I do appreciate it a ton. Eddie, I know appreciates it a ton. We love you guys for watching. We're gonna
Or
bring you
listening.
more.
Or just listening.
Well,
Can be.
watching / listening. I put that together. I agree because I'll actually spend a lot of time just listening to people talking podcasts. So, but you got to watch these because the issue is I'll throw up a bunch of so it just as an FYI for anybody listening only. If you're listening only, when I put the videos up, you will see if you watch like random shit. Like if me and Eddie go off on a tangent talking about random shit, you will see a video, like an image or a video or something. I will put something on the screen to kind of like explain what we're talking about. So, as an FYI, if you're only listening, you might want to go back and take a look and watch them. And I know it's a lot of time. I appreciate you guys, but if you pay attention, you might actually learn a little bit more just from watching it as well as listening. So, but no, other than that, I do want to thank you guys. I love you guys. Yeah, fucking Mars, man. Unbelievable. We'll see if we actually go to the moon this year. I doubt it. It's all fake, guys. It's all fake. Unbelievable. But yeah, you want to thank him again one more time,
Yeah,
Eddie?
thank you guys for listening / watching, and I guess we'll see you in the next one.
That's it. I love you guys. We love you guys. We hope you have a great rest of the day, and take care.
Peace.